slight difficulty seeing the forest for the trees. So you sort of, what can be helpful is if you visualise hugging a tree, and also if you visualise the green of the forest. And if you've got something like sage essential oil as against sage smoke, I'm going more the sage essential oil. And I'd be not, having it right up here because, but just if you can breathe in that sage smell, or even if you can visualise being in a forest and, that beautiful smell of moss, and dew on moss. If you really breathe in those kinds of smells, and really opens up your chest, your heart, that emotional space to breathe, because there's a lot of this sort of feeling quite sort of, restricted, caught in the middle of this, don't know where to go, what am I doing? Oh, I'm emotionally confused, and I'm trying to think my feelings and feel my thinkings, and what do? I don't know. So it's about getting back into that heart space in a very calm way, rather than, you can't control this situation. You can control yourself, but you can't control the situation of the other person. It's really, and you're not into controlling other people, but you're like, work out, and it's like, so it's really about bringing it down and, soothing, calming, and clearing, even the smell of pine forest, or cedar forest, just these sorts of woody, earthy kinds of clearing smells, like spearmint as an essential oil. It has got a very green energy to it. It's why they often call spearmint green. You've also got, the sage essential oil. Once again, we're on that vibration there. So I really want to bring in those colours, those energies, so that it just helps you loosen up this whole area, to be able to speak the truth without feeling like, you're going to be gaslit or stonewalled, but also so that you're not confusing yourself. So I would put.
Yeah, I get very. Yeah, I get very strong with the need to go inward, go inside, and a time for reflection, and a time possibly for meditation as well, and really just sitting there and thinking things through very strongly. I feel that you are really struggling to be able to speak your truth within this relationship, and I feel like maybe you just need to step back a little bit, or think about just stepping back until you know what to do next. It's entirely up to you. And bring a bit of laughter into your situation. We were just talking about that, weren't we? Yeah, that's why we were talking about it. Try and inject a little bit of humour into what is clearly a very difficult situation around you. I also see new beginnings work-wise for you too, and it's of a very positive nature coming in as well. And I feel that'll bring a lot of balance back into your life as well. Okay, but Jacqueline's right. Keep that heart space open and bring that green energy in around you. It's very healing for you. Yeah.
Is there my grandpa watching for me on the other side, or no?
Definitely. I feel there's actually 3 people connecting from the other side, and he's one of them. There's 2 gentlemen coming through and a lady for you as well. I feel with the gentleman that you were very closely connected childhood with him, and I feel he's very much a guiding light in the situation for you, and I feel like he's watching you develop and grow emotionally within the situation, and I feel that he's encouraging you to go inwards with the situation. And I definitely feel you talk to him, don't you? Yeah. I feel you talk to him. You talk to him, Lauren. I feel that you put out to him for help.
What did he say?
Yeah, she's having trouble hearing us.
You're having trouble hearing us, yes. Lauren, I was saying that I feel that you do talk to this gentleman, that you, in your mind and in your thoughts, you ask for help for going forward. And I feel also that sometimes you feel him around you as well. Okay? And he comes in with the fragrance as well, so maybe that's that woody fragrance, that one that you're picking up on.
I think he's wearing Old Spice.
Old Spice, yes.
My grandpa used to smell like, used to smoke tobacco.
Okay. That's kind of a woodyish kind of. Well, close.
It's pungent. But
yes.
He's got an Old Spice smell to him, so I'm wondering if he wore aftershave that smelled a bit like that. I'm sort of reminded of those old Norska, Norska salt, ads back in the 70s, and lots of pine everywhere on the walls. Back when paneling was a thing.
Yes.
Although that's become a thing again. I do feel Grandpa's energy there. I do feel that he's quite cheeky in his humour. And that's why the lightheartedness and the joviality is coming through to help lift you through this situation. So we hope that helps you, Lauren, and makes sense to you. And hopefully you've heard us being able to speak there.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome, my darling. And thank you so much for calling in. Really interesting. We always sort of, I find on this show, talk about stuff and it's like, la, 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 about this thing, and then, boom, caller. Oh, there you go.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a correlation all the time, isn't there, between what's coming through and then what happens.
Yeah.
Constantly, actually.
Yes.
It's amazing, isn't it, how that happens? It's a really good thing.
Now, we've also got another caller. Yay! If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. We've got Yvonne in Ontario, Canada. I love the Canadian call. I love all that Canada, or I was almost going to call it Canada.
Yes.
But Canada is got a special place in my heart. Are you there, Yvonne?
Hi, yes, I'm here. Hi.
And you this beautiful part of the world.
Yes, she does. Yes, absolutely. Without a question. We don't have bias at all. Yeah.
No.
There's a lot of very strong throat heart energy there with you, and the ability to speak your piece when you need to, usually for a cause, usually for other people, and that you're very much standing up for people when that's a really necessary, important thing that you've done a number of times in your life. I would feel there, Yvonne, and I do think that you normally can speak your mind usually in a clear way.
Yes.
Very calm way usually, but sometimes, hey, sometimes we just have to let it rip. And I really have to congratulate you for that, because there is absolutely no doubt about who you are as a person, because you live and breathe and speak that, and you are that. What you mean is what you say is what you mean.
Absolutely.
But you're never doing it from a mean place. So it's always from this heart space. It's very turquoise where you are, and there's a lot of orange as well, which is interesting because they're actually the two polarities of each other.
Yeah.
And also a lot of coral. And I was actually seeing coral with you before when you were speaking to Lauren, but I'm actually also seeing that the orange and corals coming in with Yvonne as well. So
orange means confidence to me. That's how I feel that.
It's also that creative centre, that wisdom, and coral is that giving out, and sometimes saying, yeah, okay, because we can give out the energy and sometimes people are just, but, you're still that giving person regardless, but you're luckily, particularly in the last 5 years particularly, a lot better at going, that's enough effort right now, thanks. You're able to pull back a bit. But the question you wanted to ask us today, darling?
Okay, I want to ask about dreams. I think I have vivid dreams. Seems like they're telling me something. It's all good, but there's times I can't remember, but I want to go back into the dream.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, sometimes you can actually go back into it the next night. Just by setting the intention, close your eyes, you can actually go back into it.
Yeah.
I've done it before. It's
yeah.
Sometimes I would expect there'd be headaches there. I'm not sure if that's a physical thing or whether it's a lot on the mind. But I think there may be at times like actual headaches with you. Sometimes your third eye is quite open. Other times it's like too much information and too much input. So sometimes it's just about clearing that. And remember to be kind to you. Sometimes for you before you go to sleep, it's just going to be helpful to put a bit of a shield around yourself, maybe a bit of a pink bubble, whatever colour you're really drawn to that's right for you that night, to help you shield away so that you're not kind of getting a lot of stray energies of people passing through the neighbourhood who might no longer be.
Okay. Okay.
I feel so, yes. Right, yes.
Sounds like.
Yes.
So you sort of got to sometimes sort of bubble around that and go, yeah, that's enough tonight. That would, I think, be contributing to why some of your dreams you don't remember, because you're kind of psychically passing out, we might call it, because you sort of got a bit of an overload there. And so it's like, too much stimulus shutting down. Other times you actually really are getting prophetic dreams there, don't you?
Yeah, I agree. I feel it too. And there are messages in there. So I'd actually maybe even have a journal by your bed.
Yep.
And actually, if you do wake up, write things down, okay? because it's in your subconscious, but there's actual messages filtering through too. So definitely take notice. All right. And I've just pulled the card, the Six of Swords, and it's about journeying. It's about journeying in your dreams. All right. So I do feel you travel far and wide in your sleep state. I actually feel you're very busy in your sleep state, to be honest, and I'll be surprised if you weren't tired when you wake up in the morning because there's a lot of activity going on there. Okay. Maybe less holidays on the outside when you sleep.
She's doubling in Florence. She's through hospital and people are seeing her going, Florence? No, someone asked in.
Yes. So there's a lot going on in your state. I totally agree.
That makes sense to you, yeah?
We've got a good, haven't we?
You've got to have it.
You have to have it.
Just, yep.
Yes.
It's about normalising abnormal selfish.
Yeah, we do that every day, don't we?
We have to.
Yes, we do.
But does that make sense and help you there, Yvonne?
Yeah, it does actually. I feel like I'm always on the go, even though I'm home. I'm always like my mind is so clear. But I just also, is there anyone coming into my life as a partner?
Options, I would say.
Yeah, I get two.
Yes, well, that's what I was
Oh, you're going two. I was getting two at the same time.
I'm going to leave that one alone. Going to put them back out of the race. No, they were there for 5 minutes. We're getting rid of them. We're back with two.
We're back to two.
Two is great. Yep. Just the other one.
A good friendship there too.
Very good friendship.
Yes.
I think. Right. Number 3 may also be turned into a friendship, but sort of at first it's like, I'm not so sure about this. But the other two, they're really, really good.
Yeah. Possible marriage a little bit later on coming up in the cards as well for you, but not immediately.
No.
Not yet. We're not ready for it yet.
But also really thinking about she's not in a race.
No, well, that's right.
Which is good.
That's very good.
Us women should not be in a race.
No.
When we're looking at partnering, because sometimes you don't quite realise what you've hitched your wagon up to, if you know what I mean. So it's really know that and be sure of it.
Yes, and you can be on your own without being lonely as well. You're a very independent lady, so there's no race here, as Jacqueline's saying. Yeah. Okay, take your time, but love is there for you, and potentially marriage as well in the future for sure.
I think she's got a really committed relationship coming up, and it's a bit like the lucky dip prize at the school folks. You know, if you're not quite happy, just put that in the bin over there and go again.
Yes,
and again.
Dip again, yes.
Dip again.
Yes.
It's a bit like, at the movies they now have it's like you got the lolly or you got the dummy this time. Better spit that one out. I think you're going to be very happy in the end here, but it's just you take your time. You're under no obligation. Despite men sometimes thinking that you might be. They can be a bit persistent with you there. I think it's because they get quite attached with Yvonne.
Yes.
And then they think that they've got some kind of rights here, which, sorry, buddy, try again. I do feel and concur absolutely here with Shirley. You do end up with the right one.
Absolutely, I agree, 100%.
Hope that helps you, Yvonne.
That's not very clear, but I got a little bit of information.
Okay, You'll be able to hear it back on the podcast and get the rest of it. And you can always connect with us as well on Soulstar Radio. If you go onto Facebook and just type in Soulstar Radio, if there's anything we're saying you're not making sense of, we can clarify that for you. And you can also connect with us on the website, which is soulstar.media. More than happy to connect with you there as well. So thank you so much there for your call.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm just... there is... The 60 seconds suddenly turned up.
Oh, it did. Very quickly,
Hopefully we're not cut off. Thank you so much for coming in again, Shirley.
Absolute
we'll catch
pleasure.
up with you next time.
Yes.
In the meantime, may you all be happy all week long and may no storms come and beat you in the legal system. Lots of love. Catch you next time. So
Bye.
That's my channel. Bye.
Bye.
I'm Terry Lynn Boyle, Vancouver Island medium. And usually I'm at the Amethyst Forest, but tonight I decided that what I was going to do was come home and see my family a little bit before I went on the air. So let me just back off. There's a little bit of Vancouver Island. That's the News Bay out there if you happen to be looking up anything on Vancouver Island. So today, each day, each Tuesday, we talk about, maybe how my week's been. I wonder a lot of the time how your week's been. I get lots of messages from you, and I really, really thank you for that. From all over the world, and some of you who are able to get through, and I get messages to you, have thanked me, and I am so appreciative. I am so grateful for all of you and all of you that listen. This has been a little bit of a hectic week, shall I say. It was quite busy because, sometimes I don't always remember everything, and sometimes, to put it into my calendar. And I kind of double booked myself last Saturday and Friday and Thursday, and I hurt my neck and. But now Mercury is no longer in retrograde. So, and I'm on the mend, and it's been an amazing week. One thing I did learn this week is how not to cause extra drama. Sometimes, you really want to get in there and just help people, don't you? Just try and make it all better because we love you and we don't want you hurting. And I know my husband is like that all the time. He hates to see me upset. I know he does. I just know he does. Anyway, he always wants to just get in and fix things and make it all better. And I'm very appreciative. But remember, sometimes you just need a hug, right? And sometimes if we hug ourselves, that's not a bad thing. That sometimes will do. So, just put your left hand here, right on your right shoulder. See, just like that. And then put your right hand on your left shoulder. Just kind of give yourself a nice little squeeze there. See, a hug, I tell you, always makes things better. Always. So now, a few other things that I've done over the week. Well, we have finally, here on Vancouver Island, we have finally gotten a little bit of a taste of summer. Okay, so I just happened to catch a hummingbird on the side of my eye, and I went, oh. So a hummingbird means to find the joy in this situation. And I'll tell you what, I have found some wonderful joy on Tuesday nights, and that is talking with all of you all over the world. And I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. And again, I appreciate your messages. So today I was having a little bit of a rough morning. And I just thought, man, I was so down, and I just, why is this happening to me? Well, it wasn't happening to me at all. It was a wonderful learning opportunity. What did I do? I went out to a place, if you are ever around Nanaimo, British Columbia, here on Vancouver Island, then go out to Buttertubs Marsh. It's a bird sanctuary out there, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And they have painted turtles, and you can just sit on the bench and watch the ducks come in and all the other little birds flying around. It's beautiful. And man, does it ever put you in a better perspective and get your attitude changed pretty quick when you start being grateful for just the little things like a duck flying down onto the pond and how beautiful it was. So remember to hug yourself this week, okay? And remember to take a little bit of time and go out somewhere, sit on a bench and appreciate the wildlife, listen to the birds or whatever it is that you enjoy doing outside in nature. We all need to get out there and get grounded. So, okay, lecture's over, but be good to yourself this week, okay? I think we have a caller, Tracy. Tracy is in Hayward, Wisconsin. Hi, Tracy. Are you there?
Hello.
Hi, Tracy. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. How can I help you tonight, Tracy?
I guess I ask about my job, whether it was a good move or do you see something else?
You've just recently moved?
No, starting a new job or adding more clients on.
Okay. You're in Wisconsin, right?
Right.
Okay. Have you lived somewhere else before? Are you from a different state, Tracy?
No.
You've always lived in Wisconsin?
I've lived in other states, but mostly Wisconsin.
Okay, because I kind of feel, and I don't know why, but Michigan came into my head. So I don't know if that's someplace that you could possibly move with your job, or for some reason, I don't know, it could have been. Have you lived in Michigan before? Maybe that's coming up. Is there an opportunity for you for a job in Michigan?
Not that I know of, and I've never lived there.
Well, I maybe look into it. Do you work like in offices after hours?
No, I'm doing personal home care.
Oh, home care. Okay. So because I kept seeing you like you really should look into Michigan, because it keeps coming. The name keeps coming back up into my head. So I'm not sure. Also, Tracy, do you have a brother that's passed, or like an uncle?
Nephew. He's kind of like my brother.
Okay, that's who it is. It would be someone that's like a brother to you. And he's been passed for not that long, a couple of years?
Yeah.
Yeah. He wants you to know that he's okay. And he says he knows that, were there questions about his death?
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't supposed to happen, if that helps
you.
Okay. And he also, because you were older than him. Oh, yeah, of course, he's your nephew. Of course you'd be older than him. Duh. He also wants you to, because he looked at you as almost like a second mother, correct?
Yeah, I took care of him a lot.
Yeah. And it was almost like you were the one that he went to when he had issues. And there is nothing you could have said to him or done that would have changed the way that things happened, honey, okay? I don't want you carrying that guilt. He didn't come to you with all of the issues, but he loved you dearly and he put you very high up on the, like a, not on a pedestal, but he always felt that you were someone he could come to no matter what. And he just wants you to know that he felt that way about you. But I think you already know that. And he always used to like to jump out and scare everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. He still likes to scare you guys. Do you ever hear like a door creak and everybody turns around and looks? Because that's what he does. He makes noises for you guys, and he leaves the cupboard doors open in your kitchen. So stop giving everybody else a hard time about that. He's the one doing it. Okay?
Okay.
Now let's go back to your job here. So is there something else, though, do you have people working for you?
Do I have people working for me? No.
Yeah. Is this your own business?
No.
See, okay. Maybe that's what Michigan is. Because I feel like you should start your own business. You've been doing this for a while. You know how to do it. And I feel like you have people working under you. So are you a supervisor maybe? I don't know, but I feel like I don't feel like you're the one that goes in. It's almost like you start staffing them. And you start, are you a supervisor in this company?
No. I don't have a company.
It's just you doing it privately.
I help people with their crafts and things like that.
With their what?
With their crafts, their artwork.
Oh, I see. But you said that you do private home care, correct?
That's taking care of elders
Yeah.
and handicapped.
So, but
like a person, like a nurse, kind of.
Right. Yeah. That's what I thought it was. But it's almost like I feel like you should have your own company doing that and having girls work under you because you're very good at what you do. Okay. So think about that. Look at what you would have to do to go about getting a company together. Getting a reputable company and making your own business and making your own wage in your own company and having people work under you. Because I think that you would be very good at that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks so much for calling in, Tracy. I really appreciate it. And your nephew just says hi. He says, listen for the noises and listen for me scaring you because that's where I'll be. All right?
All right, thank you.
Have a great evening. Sometimes you get messages that just are not what the people want to hear about, but they come through very, very strong. So I have to say them. If I don't, I start coughing. And you don't want to sit here and listen to me cough for 20 or 30 minutes now, do you? Of course not. Let's go to the next caller, Cheryl, who is in Mooresville, North Carolina. How are you, Cheryl? Are you there?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great. How's the weather in Where's Mooresville? Where is Mooresville?
It's NASCAR City, so think race car.
Okay.
It's about 20 miles. Yeah, 20 miles of Charlotte.
I've been to Charlotte, and I bet I've been to Mooresville too because we went past the racetrack. So.
Mm-hmm. Very rainy and cold right now.
It's really rainy.
Yeah, like flooding.
Oh goodness, no. Oh, see, we here on Vancouver Island, we don't get a lot of snow, but they're having flooding in the interior of British Columbia because of the snowfall that they've had this year. So no, I'm just here out in the ocean. It's all pretty, and I'm picking my flowers and planting my greenhouse, and I'm sure you have similar weather to what we have because you guys are down south too, right?
We are.
So enough chit chat, small talk, Missy Miss. How can I help you, Cheryl?
Do you just have any messages from Spirit for me?
Sure. Let's see what we can dig up here. Cheryl, do you have a daughter?
I do.
Yes. She's very special. She's an old soul, is she not? Always a little bit more mature than what she's should be?
Yes.
Yeah. So, how old is your daughter?
I have two of them.
Okay, this one is the youngest one.
Okay. She is 17.
17. So I see her as a little girl. So I want to talk about when she was a little girl. Because obviously Spirit has something to tell us in here, or else it wouldn't be coming through, okay? So let's bear with me here. Bear with me there, honey. So when she was a little girl, did you guys have like I see her in dirt, Like, was there a farm that you used to go to, or just an acreage or something her grandparents lived on, or that you guys lived on?
No. She went with her dad occasionally to where he would live. But I wasn't always, there. We didn't live together.
Right. Okay. She's very kind with the animals?
Yes.
Yeah, she has a real soft spot for animals, and she's the one that would always bring like the broken wings home of the birds and stuff, or I mean, bring the birds home with broken wings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So has she decided what she's going to go into? Because I can see her going into like a nursing medical field, like a nurse, but maybe going and not just for animals. So I'm talking like a person nurse, not a vet. Okay. Has she done any of that kind of interest to you? Because she's very kind. She doesn't just care for animals. She cares for pretty much. Oh, there's something else too. She cares for people. I think she's a very kind soul, a very old soul. And she's very highly intuitional too, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you married now?
No.
Yes. Have you just recently had a divorce, or not a divorce, but broke up? Because
about 2 years ago. I'm sorry?
I see a new beginning here. Kind of I don't know, have you just recently met someone then? So because I see the end of something and the beginning of something starting.
No, I've been with the same man for 12, 13 years. I ended our engagement almost 2 years ago, but we still date all the time. I mean, we're still pretty much together.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's just what it is, and it's almost like I'm seeing a little bit of some kind of a new beginning. Maybe you guys decide you're going to do this, or maybe something is happening that makes him appreciate you a little bit more, and you appreciate him a little bit more. Because I see a beautiful new beginning. Also, is your oldest daughter married?
I don't know. She's been estranged for about 7 years.
Okay. She's had a lot of issues in her life.
Yeah. The new beginning might be my youngest daughter is planning on moving in August. Hours away.
There you go.
And
okay.
Quitting school and moving.
Oh, no.
And I've considered moving in with my boyfriend of 12, 13 years. So
right.
I'm contemplating.
I think that this has to do with you moving in with your boyfriend. Because the new beginning I see, I believe, is for you. Because as I was talking of your younger daughter, it's not, I don't believe it was her. Okay, I think that we're talking about you. Does he live like, I know that, you know how with cities sometimes like the suburbs are just, you cross the street and you're in a new place, right? You guys live in two different cities?
No, we live about 5 minutes from each other.
Huh. Oh, your daughter's moving. Maybe that's the two cities I see then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about?
My oldest daughter.
I mean, you'd like to ask?
Yeah, my oldest daughter. You said you were picking up something there?
Yeah. I was going to say that I was feeling like a distance between you, but yeah, I don't need to say that now. I feel like there are some issues that have been going on since she was a child. You know, like I'm talking 10, 12, right in that area. But I think that she's going to come back. For some reason, I'm feeling like maybe that's the new beginning. Maybe there's some kind of a reunion between the two of you. Maybe you're able to work through it and come through in that kind of a way.
Okay. Do you see my youngest daughter leaving?
Yes, I do. I do.
Okay.
But remember that she has to figure out her own path, okay? She has to you can't put a rope around her waist and pull her down the path that you know is best for her. She has to figure that out for herself, okay? And as many times as I have said, and I know all of us probably have said, learn from my mistakes, or don't do as I do, but do as I say. And they'll never, no child will ever learn from our mistakes. They have to make their own mistakes. And that's the only way that we learn, is by making mistakes. And I don't know that this will really be a mistake for her. Like, she's a very strong-headed young lady. Is she not?
Yes.
Yes, she takes after her mother. So remember that, and remember that you've raised her the best that you possibly can, and trust what you've done with her, and that she will listen, and that she's got a good head on her shoulders. Is she going to have some bumps in the road? Yes. Most certainly she will have bumps in the road. But all of us have. Okay? So just remember to give her a little bit of space, and just always be there when, and don't say I told you so. Okay?
Right.
Sorry, that's probably not the advice you're wanting to hear, but I do believe that she's got a good head on her shoulders, and I think she'll be okay. She does tend to be a little bit too kind, and people do tend to take advantage of her, though. So please, show her how to stick up for herself, and I really think that she'll be okay, though. You've done a good job with her, haven't you? I feel you have.
I feel that I have. I just don't want her quitting school, knowing that she's a year away from graduating, but she's going to be 18, and so I know that they were planning on leaving me. She's planning on leaving me without me knowing. So, but now I know.
Yeah.
And it's between her and her father, and now I know. So, yeah.
But you know what? I think that this is going to make you two closer. I really do. Because I don't think it's going to be all sunshine and roses, like she thinks she's going to be. There's going to be rules, and sure, he might not, he's not going to treat her the way that you treat her. So just remember that and be patient, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Also, have you ever looked... have you looked for your daughter? Do you have any idea where she is?
She's in Florida.
Okay. Okay.
Last time I heard, she was in Florida.
Okay, that's yeah, I believe she's still there. So, just keep manifesting that she'll understand and she'll come home, because I think that you two could be friends now. Okay?
Oh, okay.
All right, well, I'm going to have to go here. And Cheryl, enjoy your evening. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. And I hope that the rain doesn't get too bad and you don't have too much flooding in Mooresville, North Carolina, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have a good night. And that about wraps it up for me. I'm Terry Lynn Boyle. I'm known here as the Vancouver Island Medium because I live on Vancouver Island. Go figure. Next week, I'll be back. This week, remember, hug yourself. It's free. It's easy. And, oh, my goodness gracious, it's the cure for depression. And hug everybody else, too. Have a wonderful week, everybody. I'll see you next Tuesday.
Hi, I'm Kathy, and thanks for watching Moonstruck. And now, back to A1R on the Air, Psychic Talk Radio, now on Moonstruck TV, enlightening television.
Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen van der Zijden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. Happy you're here as usual. It's so nice to have people tuning in, watching, and listening. I'm a medium as well as a life coach. Tonight's coaching tip is all about being disillusioned. And I'm sure you've experienced moments in your life where you expected life to be a certain way, and you end up waking up to some kind of a disillusionment and seeing that it's not quite what you thought it was going to be, or it isn't quite what you thought it was. Being disillusioned means we are disappointed in someone or something that has turned out to be what we think is less good than what we thought it would be. We say we're disillusioned when we might have a relationship with somebody and we find out they're not who we thought they were. We might be disillusioned if we have a job that doesn't turn out to be what we expected. We could even be disillusioned with life itself. As we're growing up as children, we're always being told what to do, where to go, all of those things. And we think as adults, we'll be able to do whatever we want, whenever we want. And no one will be controlling us. But then, as we grow up, we find out we have some adult responsibilities we didn't know about as children. And we think life was going to be a lot easier as an adult, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's more problematic and challenging, and that can lead us onto a little bit of path of disillusionment. We think being disillusioned is a negative state, and we think that it's a bad thing. But what if, instead of it being a bad thing, it's really waking us up from some kind of a stupor or something of unawareness? That what if it's taking us from a limited belief system or a limited perspective and moving us instead into a more powerful sense of self-awareness? One of my clients was complaining about the people in her life. She was complaining about how negative they were and how nasty they were. And it was affecting her to such an extent, because that's all she could see was the negative, that she had formed this belief system that people, all people, which isn't true, but all people were harsh, critical, egotistical, and uncaring. This really affected her because she thought the world was a safe space. But having this belief system in place, based on some limited situations that she had experienced, she made a general statement that people are just not very nice, and it affected her. And so she didn't feel safe anymore. And because of this, she herself started becoming very critical and very judgmental. She allowed herself to be affected by this negativity, this perceived negativity that she thought was everywhere. She was so focused on this that her life experience became very negative. She disconnected from her center. She disconnected from who she truly was, and she was off balance. She was unbalanced. She didn't know where her loving center self was anymore. She got to the point that she was very disillusioned with life in general. She thought it was very hard. She was disappointed that people weren't very nice and they weren't very kind and caring. And by allowing it to affect her, that really turned her into a negative person as well. Now, of course, we all have those problems and challenges, as I always say. We always will experience negative situations and negative people, but we don't have to let that negativity affect us so much so that we lose track of who we truly are. This disillusionment with my client, she started to really think about this. She didn't want to be miserable anymore. She didn't want to be focused on the negative anymore. She no longer wanted to look at all people and judge them and feel like they were horrible people. What she did is she ended up using that disillusionment and opening her eyes up a little bit to see what was really going on. She used it to kind of reclaim herself and get her awareness back into a state of actually being used. She recognized that she had the power to shift her beliefs, to change her belief systems into something else. She also realized she needed to detach from this perceived negativity rather than allowing herself to get sucked into that negative emotion. You know how sometimes something goes on in our heads and it just goes and goes and we can't get out of it sometimes. That's what can happen if we're fixating on something, and it brings up that sense of disillusionment. Since this, when I talked to her about this, she started to realize that it wasn't all people who were bad. It was just a couple of people, but it affected her so much because she was on the more sensitive side too, that's how come she allowed it to affect her to such a degree that she lost herself. Now, for another example, as I always talk about relationships on here, it seems, that's something that we all want to know about. We've all had relationships where the person we're with turns out to be a totally different person than who we thought they were. They're usually not as loving and kind and caring as we thought. Initially, when this happens, when that disillusionment comes in and we go, we're shocked that this person is not the way we thought they were, we will get very sad. It can be very distressing. And what will happen is we need to mourn what we've lost here. We've got to mourn what we thought we had. We thought we had something special, but we don't necessarily, because now our eyes are opening up in our state of disillusionment. We may have made plans in our head or physically, and now they're not working out because it's just not. But because our disillusionment is opening our eyes up to our own awarenesses, opening our eyes up to reality of who we are, who other people are, we're really seeing things a little bit more clearly. It's helping us grow as people and actually have a better life. So disillusionment is not necessarily a bad state. It can be painful and distressing, but it moves you into a new state of awareness that's very important for achieving the life you want to have and creating that. With a relationship, I bet you can look back on a relationship you had at one point where you woke up, you had that disillusioned feeling, and then you realized that, you had to move on for whatever reason. But now you look back and you go, wow, I'm so glad I didn't stay with that person. Because if I had stayed with that person, it would have been horrible. So a disillusion can really help you protect you from something that would have been horrible. It's opening you up also to other aspects about yourself, who you are as a person. What is acceptable to you? What are your boundaries? What kind of life do you want to have? Are you having that? What is important to you? That will move you into this new state of questioning, what is it you really want out of life? If you're feeling disillusioned now with a person or a situation or whatever it is, allow it to show you what's important to you. Allow it to show you what needs to be brought to your awareness. What do you feel like you need to know? Maybe you feel like you lost something, which would make sense because disillusionment means you've lost some kind of a belief that is not true. It's been proven disappointingly to not be true. Maybe you feel like you've lost safety or love, or you've lost respect or even happiness. Maybe you thought life would be more carefree and it's not. And you can still take control over your life again by recognizing what it is you've lost. And if you've lost some kind of belief, that's okay because you'll move into a new belief that's even stronger, that's more realistic. And I'm not saying that for my client that all her people that are around her were nasty and negative, because they weren't. It was just what she was looking at right now. So sometimes our beliefs just need to be shifted a little bit to move into a better state. So allow this disillusionment, I don't even know if that's a word, to open your eyes to the facts, to see what's really out there. Let it take you beyond your limited perspectives and beliefs and back into the powerful, oh my goodness, I can't talk, the powerful place of who you truly are, that state of awareness where you can figure things out from a more empowered perspective. Let go of a belief if it's not true. Release the expectations of how the world should be or you thought it would be, and see things from a different angle instead. Recognize the power that it's giving you. You're reclaiming your inner power, and when you do that, you're also reclaiming your power to create the life you want and deserve. And that is my coaching tip of the day. We have lots of us have experienced being disillusioned, so I thought that would be fun to talk about. It's an interesting little angle when you think about it, so maybe you'll remember it. If you're just joining in, I'm Colleen Vander Zijden, and you can find me at psychicmediumcolleen.com. Also on Facebook, Colleen Vander Zijden, Medium and Self-Empowerment Coach, and I would love for you to follow me there. It would be awesome. So we are actually going to move on right now to our first caller, who is Becky in England. Becky, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very well. What can I help you with today?
Do you want? Is it got to be something specific, or can I just say what are you? Can you pick anything up, or do you want me to? Do you want it to be something specific?
Whatever you want. Frequently, what I find out is if somebody has a specific concern, they'll call for that and they want to address it, and then they'll get irritated if I don't address it. Okay, so if you have something specific, otherwise, what I'll do is I'll connect in with the spirit and see who comes in.
Yeah, okay, do that. I think, please.
Okay, you can always interrupt me and ask something specific as we get going, of course. I do have a spirit who does step in for you, and I have a gentleman as he's coming in. And as he's coming in, I want to be a teasing personality. I want to be somebody that's going to be telling stories and trying to get reactions, especially from children. He loves children. On the other side, he tells me that he passes at a halfway decent age, so we're up in the elderly, but not the oldest ages, so maybe 70s, that area. He's also showing me something going on with my lower back into the hip area. So frequently I'll get a physical sensation for something they may have experienced when they were here. I don't feel a complainer with him, and he does feel like he's related to you. Do you have a grandfather who was a bit of a joker?
Well, I didn't meet one of them.
Okay.
And I don't think he was. I think he was very serious. So no, I don't think so.
Okay. So do you know somebody else it might be instead of a grandfather? Because this guy, he's got a really good sense of humor, and I want to be playing with kids. I want to be teasing them and tricking them in a good way, not in a bad way. And I want to be tricking them. And this seems to be very important to him to do that.
No, not really. No, not that I can think of. No.
Okay. Just hold on to that information. Because whoever wants to come in, I just let them come in and see where they want to go. The reason I feel him coming in is I get the impression that you're actually quite good with people yourself, that you have a very good way with the way, and you have a good sense of how to get the best out of people. And
definitely. I try to.
Yes, I tell you, the right spirit always comes in, even if we don't recognize them right away. And there's the feeling of a connection between the two of you because you are kind of similar to the way he is. And as he's talking about you, he says, you understand the concept of being nice to people to get what you want. So if you have a particular need, there's no need to go screaming at someone. And actually, he laughs because he says you would never do that. But you know how to do it in a very respectful, kind way. But he's also telling me you're not a pushover. You'll say what you need to say. He really enjoys how you say things to people. And he gives me the impression you do spend some time guiding others, giving them direction as to how to go about doing things, suggestions, advice. He says you have very good advice because you understand where the other person is coming from. You have a very good sense of insight into what the other person is thinking and feeling. And because of that, the way you talk to them, you're very engaging, and people feel like you really understand them. You must have a lot of very nice friends around you. Do you have a lot of friends or something? Because it seems like you are like amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. I do. I love people. So, yeah, I like to have lots of people around me. Yeah.
Okay. It's really cool how he's talking about you. He gives me such a good perspective on you and how good you are. And he gives me such a feeling of joy around you and laughter and love around you. And the effect you've had on other people is so wonderful, and he's very happy with this. I want to talk about two things before I let you go. I still have time. Okay, good. Two things. One, I want to talk about your car. I am assuming you have a car.
No, I don't. I don't drive.
Okay, I want to talk about a car. Okay. Does somebody take you places? And let me tell you what I'm feeling. I'm feeling a flat, okay, in the car, flat tire. I'm feeling a flat, and I want to say the left side, but I'm feeling the right side, so I'm not sure what this means. So, of course, wait a minute. You're in London, so you would be opposite me, so maybe that's why I can't tell which side I'm talking about. Oh, that's funny. So there's a flat. So there's a caution with this. So if you haven't experienced, have you experienced a flat with somebody lately?
No, in cars. But what I am concerned about is on Saturday I need to travel. Well, I booked tickets to go and see my family, and it's like a 6-hour train journey, and then I've got to come back on the Sunday, and I'm really worried that it's going to be too exhausting, the travel. So that could be to do with that, because I don't know whether to go or whether to delay the visit, you see, when I have more time to stay with my family.
Okay. I'm not having a problem with the train at all.
Yeah.
That's fine to me. The flat thing is bothering me. Okay. Are you close enough to the train that you're just going to walk there and get on it?
Yeah. Well, I was going to get a taxi, actually, a cab, so that would be in a car.
Okay. I would feel better if you went earlier than you think you need to go. Just go earlier.
Okay.
So if the train's leaving at 4, get there at 3.
Do you think I should go? Do you think I should go? Do you?
I do, because I'm not feeling any issues with the train. I'm not feeling any issues with you being there, and I'm not feeling any issues with you coming back either. It feels perfectly fine.
I'm not going to be too tired. I'm not going to be tired.
No, I'm not feeling it. I feel like you might be a little tired, but I don't feel that exhaustion feel or anything like that.
Okay.
I'm not feeling that at all. Okay, so I feel very good about that. So the leaving earlier, if you can get there earlier, just to make sure you're there on time. Okay, because coming back, it's not so essential in a way, back to your own place. But getting there, I don't know. I just feel like I want you there earlier, just so you're ready, and there's no chance of you missing.
Yeah, okay. So get to the train station earlier than I need to
get
be.
to the train station earlier.
But I will have to get a cab there. I can't walk it. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
I have to get a cab.
Yeah, and what may happen. I've had people tell me this happens sometimes when I tell them something like that, which I don't do a lot, but you may miss the cab that would have had the flat, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
If you get the cab that does have the flat, you'll still have time, so it's okay. So I'm trying to cover both angles here for you, because I don't want you to miss the train. That feels like
what was the other thing? What was the other thing? What was the other thing?
The other thing is kind of wacky. I want to be with pots and pans. Okay, I want to be with pots and pans, and I don't know why I'm putting my hands up and down on top of each other, and usually that means like a stacking of pots and pans. I have no idea what that means. Do you stack your pots and pans? Do you have a lot of pots and pans? What's the deal?
Yeah, mate. Well, not particularly. Lots. Normal.
Funny. Okay. Well, keep this in mind, because I'm seeing the pots and pans, and there's something about the way they are angled and stacked. I'm also wondering if somebody is going to drop one, because I get a little bit of a sudden feeling, like startled. I feel like I'm startled. So if that happens, just try not to startle too much, okay?
Okay.
I love the weird stuff like that, because it's just weird. And it'll be fun to see if it plays out and if it happens, because you'll go, oh, she said that.
Do you get anything, because I'm doing a beauty therapy course, do you get a good anything with that?
With what kind of therapy?
Beauty.
Oh, beauty therapy. No, but it feels right to me.
Yeah, good.
It feels right to me. Yeah, I mean, the way you are with people, it's perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
Because you make people feel good now. I mean, if you're going to do something with beauty stuff too, oh my gosh, you will have so many people around you. It'll be amazing. I mean, it just feels like, what do I want to call it? Expansive. You already have a positive effect, and this is going to affect even more people. So yeah, go. Definitely. Feels good.
Thank you so much, Colleen. Thank you.
You are welcome, Becky, and you have fun. You'll have to let me know if you get startled by a pot. Thanks so much for calling. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, darling.
And that was Becky from London, England. And I have to say, I just love when weird things come in, because you just never know what they mean and how it's going to play out. So sometimes we find out later, sometimes it's already happened, so we'll see. So we will move on to our next caller, who is Michelle from New York. Michelle, how are you today?
Hi, Colleen. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. How can I help you today?
Okay, so I'm just curious. I had a friend who passed in recent times, and also, a family member as well who's passed. Not so much in recent time, but I'd like to know if their spirit is around me. How are things over there? If they have any messages for me. I'd like to know anything about my own personal future, my own work-related situation, health issues, anything that you can pick up on. I'd be happy to hear about.
Okay. And is one of the people who passed that you are hoping to find, and sometimes we find them, sometimes we don't, but is one of them passed of an illness, a cancerous situation on the younger than we expected?
Younger, yes. It was a male. He was young.
Okay, because he feels young to me as he comes in, and I just feel an illness. I feel like stuff happening throughout my body, and and actually with him, I have to say, I do feel I'm closer to his passing, and I feel a bit of, I don't know what I want to call it, in and out. I want to be in and out. I feel like I'm sleeping a lot more. I feel like I'm here. I'm awake. When I'm awake, though, I'm very concerned about what's happening with people around me. He comes through the way he's coming through for me right now. He's coming through as a person who is kind of fun, but also is very good about being concerned about other people. Was he like that? Do I have him?
Yes, he definitely was a fun one, and very sensitive too, a sensitive soul, so of heart, you could say, Yeah, I think that's probably him that you have.
He's got there's a good vibration with him, because I feel this connection of wanting to reassure people that he is good, he's not one of course, who would want to upset people. And I can feel him glossing over how he's feeling with people and not really saying everything, because he doesn't want to worry them. And I can feel some of that with him. He's talking about the people in his life who are very important to him, and how people were there for him, and, and all of that. He says people talk to him quite a lot. You must still be talking to him.
Oh, yeah, every day.
Yeah, he says people talk to him quite a lot. Even though he feels like he's passed on the younger side to me, he's giving me the impression that he feels as though he had a great life, that he had good connections with good people. I feel also he had some plans he didn't get to, of course, but I feel there is a satisfaction there. He really wants to alleviate people's worry that he could have done so much more, or he would have done this, or the sadness that he passes on the sooner side. And he wants to alleviate people's worry on that and just say, no, it's no big deal. There's something. Do you know a David by any chance?
A David?
David, in the living or past?
No.
Because there's a David coming in, and it seems to be connected to this man. So I don't know if there's a connection with you or how that goes, but there is a David that is being mentioned. So I'll just put that with you. And there's also the feeling of, yeah. Can you be sarcastic sometimes?
I think he was more sarcastic than I am,
Okay. He's talking about sarcasm, and I thought he was talking about you. So he may very well be talking about himself, because he's giving me the sarcastic vibe and a little bit of the teasing vibe, too.
Yes, flirting. He's a flirt.
And if people don't get what he's saying, he'll make one of those comments. But he says you got him. You understood him. You understood what he was saying, where he was coming from. And he says you'd throw it right back at him, though.
Yeah, sometimes I would. It depends on the circumstances.
Yeah. Around too. But you would call him on some of that stuff, and he loved when you did that. He just did. He loved it because he said it was kind of like he was baiting you at times. And maybe other people too, just to see what would come through, and how people would react. He reminds me of someone who likes to get a reaction and likes to see what's going on, how people will respond to him. All in good fun, though. He's not a mean person. It's all in good fun.
Right. That's correct.
Yeah. He's not mean. He says you're actually kind of fun yourself. He says you tend to get a little too serious at times, though.
Uh-huh.
And you will, something will bother you, and you'll kind of ruminate on it and stay on it a bit.
Yes, that's what I do.
And he says sometimes you will get worry about things that aren't that important, and you should just let them go. He seems to be one that would probably do something like that, like kind of let things go a little bit. Though he's very sensitive, so he holds on to it. So he doesn't. It's like he won't verbalize some of that sensitivity sometimes. And you might think he's let it go, but it's still inside. But he says it's a lot more fun if you let it go. Wow, that was like a roundabout philosophy lesson there from him. He is fun, though, I must say. Okay, now you had some questions too, but I don't remember anything you asked. Job situation. Yeah, why are we talking about the job? Do you have a bit of a drive for your job?
No, not at all. No,
okay,
my job is actually local.
Okay, because what I'm feeling is, you know how sometimes you have a drive and your mind is still going, and I feel it like calming down as you drive, which felt like to me like you were having a longer drive. So you must be pretty good about processing your day, I guess, is how it goes.
Yeah, I'm self-employed, so, maybe that it could be that I'm always, my job is 7 days a week, so, and it's long hours, so I don't know if that's where the drive comes in, that I'm always going mentally.
Oh, okay.
So
and that
you might be picking up on that.
Okay. So, Michelle, apparently I've gotten my little warning, and I've got to wrap you up. So this man on the other side, he says hello, and he's so happy to be talking to you. And he is feeling so good. So make sure you tell people that he's feeling really good.
And
so
can you see who he's with over there?
Oh, no, not right now. But thank you so much for calling, because they're going to cut me off. So thank you so much for calling. And he says hello, and he'll be talking to you again, too. So see you later. Okay, thanks. That was Michelle from New York, and I'm Colleen Vanderzijden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. I have to think about that for a minute. I got still in spirit land over there. I didn't remember the name of the show. Creating an Inspired Life, and I'm so happy you were watching. So this week, what you want to do is you want to pay attention to how your life is going, and if you've got that little disillusionment thing happening in your life, just take a few seconds and just kind of step into that and figure out what it's trying to show you and about yourself, what you want to have in your life.
Coming to you live. So excited. So tonight we're going to talk about Mercury going direct finally and the new moon in Aries. But first I wanted to answer a question from a dear friend in Nashville, Tennessee, Bethany McClellan. She wrote in and emailed me, I guess modern times, right? But she asked me how to get rid of ghosts in her home. Now, she's got this awesome antique sort of Victorian home out there, and it was built during, I don't know if it's Victorian or maybe she calls it antebellum or something. I don't know, but it was built during slavery days, and it's just terrible energy in there. And she's got a couple of ghosts. And she said, Heather, how do I get rid of these ghosts in my home? Now, it's pretty simple if you have the right intent, okay? If you're definitely standing in alpha energy, if you're strong, if you have the right intent, you'll be able to accomplish this no problem. Okay, you guys? So don't fret. Don't feel like you're stuck if you've got some sort of entity, ghost, or negative energy in your home. Now, to get rid of the ghost, you need to open all your windows. You need to sage the place, all right? Sage, this stuff. I'm sure you all know, but some good white sage, something like that. Now, burn it, smudge out the windows, the doors, the corners, everything you can. And while doing so, you need to stand firm, stand in alpha energy, be strong, and say the following. This stage is cleansing out all negative energies and spirits. All negative energies and spirits must leave now through the windows and not return. Okay? Now, there are many beautiful prayers, incantations, things like this that you can say that are a little more deeper and meaningful than this. But since I'm speaking to a broad audience this evening, I wanted to make it as simple as possible. But you can look up things on the internet, different prayers and things you can say that might speak to you a little more deeply. But for now, I'm saying all negative energies and spirits must leave now through the windows and not return. And that's plenty, that's enough. In addition to that, you might want to put some kosher sea salt in the corners to cleanse the space and really get rid of that negative energy. Also do a deep clean on your home, a forensic clean, as my husband and I call it. I mean, really get the dirt out. Clean that space so you can get the negative energy out. In addition to that, when you're finished, I want you to light a white candle. Now, this is a white Mexican candle from the 99-cent store. Super cheap, super easy. But what it does is it brings back in the positive energy. The sage removes all energy. We need to bring back in the positive, okay? So light that white candle and leave the windows open for as long as you can. And know that the entities are going to the light, essentially, and that's what's happening. Okay, they need a place to go. They're trapped in your home. Okay, so they need to go to the light. This is essentially the most basic way to do it that I can tell you in 5 minutes' time. Now, Bethany, I hope that helps you, and I hope you can get rid of those pesky little spirits that are haunting you and playing mischief on you and making your life a little hectic right now. So that's for Bethany in Tennessee, and lots of love to you. Now, okay, guys, we are out of retrograde. Thank God. That was such an SH show. I couldn't even handle it. I was like, telling you all to just stay positive. Don't worry about it. Stay in the zone. But I tried. And it just manifested into this nightmare of bad communication and things breaking down and bills not getting paid and friends not calling you back and, all kinds of things that were very frustrating for me. And I feel like it was kind of universal, and it hopefully it didn't happen to you, but you probably felt it too, is what I'm saying. So after the 15th, Mercury turned direct. And what that means is Mercury is a planet that rules communication. And when it is retrograde, it's moving backwards, okay? So when it's moving backwards, communication gets all funky for us. And, you have trouble with human connection, you have trouble with electronic connection, you have trouble with trips, stops, reservations, all that kind of stuff that keeps us going can get wacky, and that's no fun at all. So that period is over. Hooray! And what happens is that the energy lingers a little bit for the next couple of days, but we're coming right out of it. So thank God. And that is in conjunction with the new moon in Aries. Now that was 15th and 16th, which is right when Mercury took direct. So that's fantastic. Now, new moon in Aries. What does this mean? Well, it's the first first new moon of the astrological calendar. And so it's very special. Now, what do we do about this? Well, we need to align our thoughts. Basically, with Mercury retrograde, we probably were really thinking about where do I want to go? What do I want to do? What did I F up on in the past? How do I fix what I've messed up? And that's a good thing. So hopefully you are all kind of going a little introspective. There was nothing else you really could do with that energy. Now, the energy of the new moon is based in action, not thought. Okay, so you don't want to think of what you want to do. You want to do what you want to do. Okay, that makes sense. So think of it like a horse and a pin. Okay, so you've been this horse stuck in your pen. Maybe out in Tennessee with Bethany, I don't know. But you need to release the horse, okay? So now the horse is being freed from that pin to run wild, okay? So you're the horse now running wild. Thank God you're free of these restrictions that have been holding you back probably for months now. And what happens is you are set free, but it's important to understand where you're running to, because if you don't have any direction, you're running around that field, just crazy, wild, foaming at the mouth. Maybe you're gonna bite someone. So just know it's important to understand where you're going, meaning goal setting and ideas and getting in the right direction, because your ideas are going to be met now with alacrity, with excitement, with love, okay? So where you fell on deaf ears before, perhaps, with ideas and proposals and manifestation, things are going to start to come to fruition, and people will respect you and take you seriously at this time. So really figure out where you want to be going, those goals, and set them in motion, because now is the time for things to be taken in by others, which is great. Okay, so understand that for the new moon. Now, there's also lost my thought. Anyway, let's go on to fortune. Okay, so the fortune for love this week is, if you're single now, there's going to be, if you have dates lined up, romantic encounter this time, a date with someone may be postponed this week, so be aware of that. Now, it's not personal, it's just this remaining fallout from the Mercury retrograde. You may have someone who is either late to the date or cancels altogether or reschedules. But again, don't take it personally. It's just because we're having to get all our ducks back in a row, because we were so sort of downtrodden and exhausted from that energy bringing us down of the Mercury retrograde. So if you happen to be canceled on or, of course, rescheduled, just know it's not personal. It's just that people are really kind of in this catch-up mode right now. Now, if you're in a couple, the vibration is, there is, the one negative right now is there's like some chaotic energy as far as communication for couples. So don't start fights. Don't be starting stuff with each other, okay? I know, like my husband can sometimes be like wanting to discuss things, but discussion can turn into an argument. Don't start arguing. You want to stay really neutral about things, okay? And be loving and kind to each other. And I know discussions are very healthy and very great, but this week, kind of keep it on the surface. Because there's a propensity to fight starting, and that's no good. Now, for the end of the week, we should be becoming like lotus flowers, and then you can go out on a date or do something fun. But for couples and for singles, stay indoors for the beginning of this week, okay? Hide under the covers. No, I'm just kidding. But so that's important for the love aspect. Now, for money, money's coming. Money is here. Money is manifesting. And that is partly due to your freedom, your newfound freedom. And you're believing again in the power of manifestation, the power of money coming through, the power of the universe. And it is coming through unknown sources. So you're not necessarily going to be getting a raise at work, but you may be offered a part-time job. You may win a lottery ticket. You may get a check in the mail from an unknown source, something like this. But it is coming, but from unexpected sources. So that's kind of fun, or a stock pays off or something like that. Like it's just a little gift, a little extra, okay? With work, now work is represented by the number 2 this week, which is partnership and love. So you'll be best off in a partnership this week with work. So if you have 2 bosses, cool. They're going to be really aware of your talent. They're going to be tuning into your awesomeness. They're going to recognize you, and it's going to be wonderful. So just understand that at work, you best in a partnership, either with you've got 2 superiors, or maybe you're in a partnership. Whatever it is, it's going to manifest beautifully as long as you believe in teamwork. Don't isolate yourself this week. Don't be the Lone Ranger. Really team up with people and trust them and know that no one's out to get you, that there's room for all of us, and just really spread that love, okay? So I do believe I have a caller out in Oregon, and I can't wait to talk to her. Who have we got here?
Rachel Covet.
Angel?
Rachel.
Oh, Rachel. Hi, Rachel. How are you?
Hi, Heather. I'm doing well. I'll speak loudly.
Thank you. What can I do for you, sweetheart?
Well, this is my first time actually having the opportunity to have a phone call like this, and I appreciate your advice. I've been listening. I have an issue with trusting myself to change where in the money aspect of my life. I've always prided myself on being caring more about people than what they could buy for me or what they could do for me. And I've looked into my own life and my childhood, and I've seen where my beliefs have come from. But right now, I was doing a great job of manifesting a new home, a new baby, and now I'm kind of at a stalemate because I'm working through all of these realizations. Like I see that when I was a child, I was looking for more connection, and when they would say, well, we got you these beautiful clothes, I would find that appalling. You can't buy my love. You can't. And so at this point, I've tried to write books, and I read tarot cards. I've also crocheted, and I spoke with my mother, and she said, you don't believe you deserve money for what you do. And it's like a belief that I'm working through. I was wondering what advice you might have for me to break that barrier and to change, because I've practiced so much self-love that I love myself being kind of like on the poor side of life rather than embracing what I could have financially or giving stuff away rather than feeling that I'm worth more than that. So I've crocheted for 5 years. I've always said, I'll eventually sell it, and I find myself just giving it all away, and many other parts of my life.
I still get it. Did you have more to say? I'm sorry.
It feels like I've almost practiced too much self-love, because I feel like that part of me that is the non-materialistic part, that's not what my children deserve. My children deserve a little bit more material. They deserve me to be a little bit more to care more about what they have. You know, it's hard for me to care about stuff, and so I don't take care of it very well. But I take care of my children really well, and we have a huge emotional connection. But I see people that, like my sister, who's my opposite, and she has so many nice things, and I see my daughter now at 8 years old wanting nice things, and mom has lived this way that things have meant almost nothing to me, you know?
This is some deep stuff. I totally relate. I totally get it. And I call it, first of all, I call it lack consciousness. Like you have this consciousness of that lack is somehow more spiritual, when in fact money is not unspiritual, or having things is not unspiritual. First, you have to get your head around that, right?
Right.
Secondly, I call it money language. So your money language is the less you spend, the better you feel, because you're higher to God, which is not true, right? Because money is currency. In order to spend it, you need the current. You have to spend it in order for the current to flow, right?
Yes.
So the current is stuck, right? Because the way
very much so.
Yeah, because the way you're going about it is you're not spending at all. Basically, was what I intuit is you're not spending very much at all. So the current is stuck. So there's a dam for the water, right? The water
I have opportunities.
What's that?
I have many opportunities to make money, and I always find myself, like I said, I'm really good at manifesting usually, but for the last about 6 months, I've just been, I mean, I feel like I need someone, you know, who knows more than I do to talk about it with. So I really appreciate you being here today.
Oh my God, I appreciate you. And I will tell you, I come from an Indian reservation with no running water, no electricity. I hadn't seen television until I was like 10, you know, all this stuff. So what happened with me is I had to learn to accept abundance, right? So it's very important to understand, firstly, that you deserve it. Secondly, if you don't use your abundance to help yourself first and then others, you're not going to benefit, right? So if you're giving all your money to your friends, but you're not helping yourself, how is that correct?
And they make fun of me for it too. Like, other people can see it in me more than I can see it in myself.
I want you to adopt a mantra, which is, I am infinitely wealthy and debt-free.
I am infinitely wealthy and debt-free.
Yes. And then I advise my clients who have this problem with money language, you need to buy something that seems extravagant for you and then enjoy the hell out of it. Meaning, like a $50 candle.
Okay.
And then just enjoy the scent like it's the best scent you've ever smelled in your life, right?
I can remember the last time I had one of those candles like 10 years ago, and I did enjoy it so much.
Yes, and tell yourself, I deserved it. I deserved it. I worked hard for this. You see? And it's also about enjoyment, adornment. You want a nice blouse because you deserve to decorate yourself. It's not because you're superficial or you have to be beautiful for everyone else. You're being beautiful for yourself. You see? So it's that old analogy, the plane's going down, you put your mask on first in order to help the kid next to you who needs their mask, right?
Oh, yes, of course.
So you're not putting your mask on first.
And that's where I'm preventing myself from, it's like I don't desire, it's like I've blocked my desire because almost I feel guilty for wanting for myself.
Feel guilty, which is totally needless, right? So my advice to you is once a week, buy something slightly extravagant and relish in it and how much you deserve it. Relish in it and how much you deserve it, And then I want you to slowly start treating yourself. Mani-pedi, a shirt, something like this, right? Because it's all about giving yourself the love that might happen to manifest in physical things, and that's okay. You see?
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so hard to give myself permission.
I give you permission right now.
Thank you, Heather.
I do. Do you have any, how does that make your heart feel?
Excited about the future. Very excited. I've studied for 5 years, Wayne Dyer and a bunch of different authors, and read. And I've written down so many ideas that I have that I would like to help people, but you're right. You're exactly right in that it'll only always be ideas if I'm not taking care of myself first.
Trust me, I had so much, that has been my deepest issue. And these are the things that I did to say, no, I deserve this. And I never even, I didn't have running water, and it's like, I have a nice abundant life now. And the thing is to appreciate with the most sort of deepest connection to the item, right? So I will cherish the hell out of that camera, and I do, and the scent and the sensory and the everything that surrounds it. I will get so into it, or a bouquet of flowers, or a blouse, or any of that, and thank God for this, or the universe. Thank the universe for this abundance. And that's the other thing. Gratitude is so important, but there should be no part of you that feels that you don't deserve this. The universe is rewarding you for your awesomeness.
Oh, thank you. And it's wonderful because it makes me feel less guilty knowing both sides of it. Like your situation, you know how it feels to go with meager, environment. Working for even just your water, to just unlimited abundance flowing to you constantly. So,
and it's also visualization and belief. You believe you deserve it, you feel it, and you live with that wealth consciousness in your brain. And then you are motivated to share with others. You know what I mean? Because you're safe, and then you can make someone else feel safe, but you have to be safe first.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Do you have any other questions?
And you know what? I probably could talk to you forever, but my 16-year-old son is calling on the other line, and at that age, I better find out what he needs.
Yes. Well, it was so nice to talk to you.
Thank you, Heather. It was a blessing speaking with you today, too. Take care.
You have a beautiful evening.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. So just so you guys know, one thing I would let you know about this new moon and the end of retrograde, super powerful time, and it is the new year for us in our astrological calendar. Write down those wishes. What do you want to manifest? Write down 25 wishes. Fold it up tight. Put it in your bedside drawer. Put it under your mattress, somewhere special. And just know that next year at this time, you're gonna open that list and see how many things have manifested. And you're gonna be very surprised to see how many things have come true. So make this a wish-making time, okay, you guys? Super excited to talk to you tonight. And don't forget to get rid of those ghosts if you've got it. And perhaps next week we'll talk about the difference between demons, ghosts, and angels, which is pretty complicated and funny and fun, okay? Now, don't forget, I am infinitely wealthy and debt-free. That should be your mantra for the week. The more you say it, the more it becomes reality. And, I erased some debt twice in my life from that mantra, which was unbelievably difficult, but it just happened from using that mantra. Okay, guys? So lots of love to you. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Your Time to Shine with your hosts, Darlene and Julie.
Your Time to Shine is a radio show designed to help you engage in your intuitive divine gifts.
All right. Who's ready to dive into their gifts tonight?
Woohoo, I am.
So Julie and I have a really fun topic tonight that we felt would be really helpful to talk about on an energetic level with relationships. So oftentimes, we have a feeling, a knowing in our hearts that it may be time to let a relationship go, to end something, or we get a sense that the other person isn't happy. So tonight we're going to talk about ways to work through that, because it isn't always easy. And especially there are energetic connections we have to people. So sometimes even if we end a relationship or they end it, there's still this component, there's still something left. So we'll be talking tonight about how we can support you, some of the tools that you can use. So Julie, when you've had a relationship end, what is it that you've done for yourself to help through that?
Yeah, well, I will tell you, I am innately a person who holds their relationships very, very close. And I mean, I have lots of friends, but I have just a handful of people that are super close to me, and that I would trust with any type of information about me or my life. And like I said, I hold them really close. So for me, ending a relationship or letting go, I shouldn't say ending, I should say let go, when it's just time to let it go. It's really, really hard for me. And it takes me a really long time to get over that. I try all the things, going through my mind and saying, well, I've done everything that I can. The last time I've had a really recent one, a good friend, a very, very good friend that I Tues. And this person got very upset with me over something and go into the whole situation. But basically, had me in like 2. And so I knew it was time to let it go. So we did a blessing. I wasn't getting any relief from the loss of that. So I knew that there were some energetic ties still left. So I thanked them for coming into my life and what they provided for me. And, I asked that they carry on in their life and they take care of themselves. And, anything that comes to you, just, be very grateful, be joyful about it as much as you can. And you have to be able to do this. You really have to be in a space of, okay, it's over, it's done. I really need this to be done and over with, and cut those cords. The other thing is to cut etheric cords. And when I do that, I cut the cords and dissolve them. But I also ask for help from the angels. And if I know correctly, Darlene, you've done similar things for asking help with the angels to help cut cords.
Yeah, definitely. So one of my favorite tools that I use and I talk to all of my clients about is definitely calling in Archangel Michael. So he is the overall biggest archangel out there, and he helps to cut cords. And I find it, especially with relationships and family. So sometimes those cords are really thick, and literally thick. I've worked with other healers who have said that these cords are big and wide when it comes to family relationships, when I've tried to cut them and release them. And what happens also is by cutting the cords, you're not, especially with family, because some people are concerned about, if they cut their cords, what would happen with their family members? You don't completely cut them away, but you release the toxicity. You release what it is that's affecting you in a way that doesn't feel good. So I call in Archangel Michael and have him cut the cords to those relationships that I feel are draining me or making me feel heavy. And that always works magic. I do it just I do it like regularly all day long, or when I'm aware of the feeling, that sensation of heaviness, or if I'm thinking of the person. Definitely Archangel Michael that's my favorite tool to use when it comes to relationships.
Yeah, you bring up a good point about if you cut the cords, how is that going to be with the family members and everything else? And that is a big concern for a lot of people, and you're just cutting those energies to release all of the negative energies and to let them go.
Yeah. And so also when you're asking yourself, is this relationship a contribution to me anymore? Because we get a sense of, say someone's in our life and we get a sense of, it's almost a struggle to make plans with them, or they just don't, it doesn't light us up to think about being with them anymore. And we ask, is this person a contribution, or am I a contribution to them anymore? Because we're always evolving and changing. And sometimes that means our friendships do as well, or any kind of relationships. So rather than suffering through it, it's beautiful to look at a relationship and ask, what is the energy I'm putting into this? What is the energy I'm receiving from it? And is it a healthy relationship? And it's not always cut and dry either. So I don't want, anybody to think this is just so easy. I can look at this and cut the cords and leave and, never have to think about it again. And that's where the tools come in, as far as, Archangel Michael. And actually, you ask about contribution, and you ask if, this person could sit down and have a conversation with you. And sometimes that's the hardest part, right? Have you ever been in that situation?
Yeah, yes, definitely. I have. Having to sit down and it goes back to this situation I was talking about earlier. And it was really hard for me to sit down and talk to this person about it, knowing how they were going to react. And it was a lot worse than I thought, actually. So, but sometimes you have to do that, and I'm still doing some healing over it. So like Darlene said, it doesn't, just because you cut the cords and you give them a blessing and you say, okay, that should be it. And, you still have to heal. You're still grieving, essentially, over the loss of a friend. You could be, but it does take some time.
Yeah, it definitely, it's it's self-care. So if there's issues around relationship, you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and not just staying friends or in a relationship because you're avoiding conflict.
Right, exactly.
That's really important. And you made a good point as far as healing. So, what are ways that you take care of yourself? Making sure that, you're getting enough sleep, whatever you do for anxiety or grief, and really look at that.
Right. Yeah, definitely nourishing your body. And I love taking a bath. I mean, I love to that's my self-care is just having some time in the bath where I have time in the water. There's something about the water being cleansing that helps. So anything that you find care during those times is really important too.
Yes, definitely. To really, I can't stress enough how important that is when dealing with relationships. The self-care piece and doing whatever that is and whatever that looks like, because to let something drag on, it doesn't do either of you any good.
No, definitely not.
So we have a caller. Are you ready to take a caller?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. My ears are ringing, so there's questions. Kara in Birmingham, Alabama, you are on the air.
Hello, ladies.
Hi, Kara.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing tonight?
Good.
Good.
Good. Well, thanks for having me on the show.
You are welcome. How can Julie and I support you tonight?
I just want to talk to you two ladies and see what kind of energy you felt, or if anything come off of me, any type of negativity, or you sense anything array, just in general. Nothing specific.
Do you, when you do you have a sense there's something?
I'm sorry, repeat the last part.
Do you have a sense that there's something there?
Yes, I do. I do.
So, is it something? Let me see. When I ask this question, let's see. What's the first answer? So, is it someone with a message, or something you'd like to clear away from your energy field?
Something I'd like to clear away, but I have lost, my brother passed away last year. He was my best friend. And I've had my mom and dad died too in the past couple of years. I've had a lot of deaths, but it is something that's not, I think it's not supposed to be around, something dark.
Okay. Julie, what do you? I'm getting a few different.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything like a negative energy.
Okay. Good.
I don't know. I'm not picking up anything at this time. I'm trying to figure out what it is that you are picking. I'm trying to figure out what it is you are picking up as far as why you feel a negative energy.
I'm not sure if it's the grieving or, and I have had a couple of readings from, a couple of people, and they have told me that, I had some, negative karmic energy from past karma, that yada, yada, yada. So that they've confirmed what I felt. And so I guess that kind of made me feel even worse about it,
Yeah. So, what you can do every morning when you wake up is just ask that you are in the bright light, and that even Archangel Michael, we were talking about him just a little bit ago. Archangel Michael, ask him to come in and clear your energy, the space that you're in, And think of when you get that sense that there's something that you'd rather not have there, just have thoughts that are more joyful, raise your vibration a little bit. But what I'm sensing is more like what you just said, that there's more of a grieving energy that you're working through.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, darling. I'm sorry.
And it's more of perhaps you not sure if you really want to hear them. Are you a little frightened by that idea of talking to spirit?
Oh no, I want to. No, I've always felt spirits my whole life. I mean, since I was a child. So I'm not scared of that. I'm scared of dark spirits, dark energy, but not no, I wouldn't be afraid of my relatives, no.
Yeah, I would ask them if it's them talking to you, because Julie and I, none of us are picking up anything like, I don't say negative, I say heavy, like something that makes you feel, maybe a little uncomfortable. Julie, you were going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say that I'm picking up that you've had a similar situation like this in a past life, where you've lost family members in consecutively, and so I think you're feeling that heaviness and that loss also from another lifetime.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, that sure does, with that idea of what they've told you before about karmic energy. So it's repeating itself.
Okay.
So dive into more of what it is they're trying to say to you.
Okay, right. I will.
Asking them to give you messages, whether it's music or something that you know would be from them, just for confirmation that that's what it is. I think that will make you feel a little more at ease with what this is. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I see all three of them. They're
Do
there.
you now? Oh, that's neat.
They're holding your hands. And they're like, we're here. It's okay. Yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel at peace. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Have a great night.
You too, ladies. Thanks so much for your time, okay?
You're welcome.
And we have someone from Las Vegas. Mariana, welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, sure. Our pleasure. How could we help you tonight?
I was just looking for clarity because we were looking at, we've been looking for a bit for purchasing like a RV park or mobile home or something style like that, but we're just not sure what the best area is and when is the best time for it to unfold, since we've been looking for, over a year now. I know perfect place, perfect time, but just some clarity or direction would be very helpful.
Right. That is vague when people say that. Oh, it'll happen in the perfect time. But yeah, it helps to know when you have action steps to look forward to. The first thing I would say is ask the house that's looking for you. Ask the place that would like to have you live there. Send you guides and information and messages. So you may drive by somewhere and just get this strong feeling in your gut. Oh, it's near here. So it may sound silly, but everything is an entity. Everything has an energy. So ask it. Start talking to it now and say, we're looking for you. Just give us signs as to where you are and let us know when we're getting closer.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds so good.
And I know Julie's coming up with something.
I'm thinking that probably within the next 6 months, between now now and 6, you're going to start getting the clarity you need and the direction that you need to go. What Darlene said is really good because when I sold my house, the house that I was actually, I asked the house who they would like to live there. And when I did that, within just a week, I had someone coming and asking, and that happened to be the ones that bought the house. So like Darlene said, everything has energy. So talk to that energy and see what comes up. But between now and 6 months, you are going to really find that direction.
Okay. Thank you. It gives me some hope, and I will start talking to that energy. Thank you so much.
And also, I'm getting there's a couple of pieces financially also that need to be put in order before so when we create, whether it's a home or a job or a relationship, the universe helps us put pieces together. And there's something with the financial pieces that are still rearranging themselves.
Okay.
So that's part of the weight, I think.
Okay.
So when that all together, it will be more clear.
Okay.
And when it happens, you'll know.
Yes. Well, thank you. That gives, like I said, that gives help, even the clarity of that, and then the conversations that I will start having. I appreciate that feedback.
You are welcome. Well, good luck with that. It's always so exciting to move into a new home.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Yeah, so that's really interesting. Just talking about the energy of things. And I know the first time that someone told me to about the energy and what ask what the house wants to have once you leave. It's very true. It was a really weird thing because I could actually feel the energy of the house, and I would ask specific questions. I could feel the vibration.
Really?
So yeah, it was really great. It was really cool. And in fact, I have some really strong ties to a house that I owned before the last one, and I finally had to sit down and actually have a conversation with the house to be able to say, you were a really great house, you have a new owner now, and go into this whole conversation. And oddly enough, I felt a lot better about basically severing the ties or cutting the cords, whatever you want to say, after I had that conversation. And you may think it's really, people look at you and they're like, wow, that's just really bizarre, but
look at people to me all the time.
So yeah, it's really great to be able to do that.
And I have found offices that way when I've known that I'm looking for something new, and I'll just that word put your feelers out. That's really what they're saying. What they mean is you put your asks out into the universe, and you are, stay aware of what's calling to you. You ask every day. It's a daily creation. Okay, office, I know you're out there. Tell me where to look. Tell me where to go. Who do I need to call? And I make sure I tell everybody that I know that I'm looking, so that way any piece of information is ready to fall into my lap. And Craigslist was the last place I was told I was drawn to strongly. Look on Craigslist. And there it was like the third listing, and it was the exact days I was looking for. The price was phenomenal, and it was right by the river, the water, which is where I love to do my healing work with clients. So
it was perfect.
And it was just a matter of, okay, I put it out there, and there it was.
Yeah.
So
great. Well, we're coming to the end of our show. So head on over to our Facebook page, Your Time to Shine, and also our new webpage, yourintuitivementors.com.
And over on yourintuitivementors.com, we have some free gifts for you, and you can read about Julie and I and the readings that we offer. So we look forward to hearing from you, and have a great night and a great spring. And we look forward to next week when we meet again. And we have another fun topic to share with you. So Julie, have a great night.
Hi, I'm Faye, and thanks for watching Moonstruck. And now, back to A1R on the Air, Psychic Talk Radio, now on Moonstruck TV, enlightening television.
This is Christy Warnick with Energetic Alchemy. I am here to help you with transforming your life for the better, helping you to really be free of that any kind of suffering, struggle that you're going through. And so today we're going to take a live caller, and I'm very excited because last week I had Marla on, and she messaged me after the show. She messaged me the next day and let me know that she was feeling great, very energetic. She was feeling so much better. And so that really did help her. And also had many other people message me, which I am so grateful for, but they said that it helped them so much. So I've been getting messages from each of my shows. And if you comment on the video, if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, any of the Facebook pages, if you're commenting, I'll go back and look at those comments. I can't see them right now, but I do go back and look at them. So be sure to comment so I can go back and look at them, and I'll respond. Or definitely, I would like to thank you, for any feedback that you have, for any experiences that that you go through with the shows. So that is always just something I'm very grateful to receive, any kind of messages about any way that this helps you, because that's the whole purpose of this for me. So thank you all so much. I also have a new program that I introduced this past week. It's about being a better balanced you. So would you like to be a better balanced you? I have started a new program. It involves light wave technique with balancing, and it's a weekly program. So you get to choose how many weeks you want to do it. You get to choose when you want to do it and for how long. And so there's different rates if you want to do weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. There's all different kind of definitely specials going on with that. So definitely check that out. It's on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Christy Warnick and the number 1. So Christy Warnick 1 on Facebook. And also you can check out my website at christywarnick.com. So, like I said, every show, we start off with a clearing, right? So let's just do a clearing overall for everyone, and this will be for the caller, whoever that is that comes on today. So I just want to just take a deep breath, everyone. All right, and so we're just going to clear out the mind, body, soul, and spirit, all levels, all layers, all bodies, inside and out, all around, including the sleep realms. Just making sure those are cleared of any and all energies that are unwanted, unneeded, or unwelcome that can be removed at this time. We're just going to clear those out. This is for everyone live here, watching, listening, or on the replay as well. So be sure to share this out because the replays will be available tomorrow. Share it out to your friends and family. It's going to be beneficial for everyone, even whoever I work with. It's always beneficial for everyone. So you receive what's best for you as well. Okay, so. All right, so we're doing that clearing, and that's just clearing out. And like I said, if you just take some deep breaths. And I have Lee here from Canada. So I'm ready for her call. Hello.
Hi, Christy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm surviving. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So you made it on the show. That's great.
Of course. I wouldn't pass up the opportunity.
Yeah. So what do you have going on today, Lee?
Lately, I think the biggest things is I'm not sleeping and nightmares like you would not believe.
Okay.
There's a lot going on, but I think that's my number one thing right now.
Yeah, I sense a lot going on around you. Okay, so, all right, so let's see how healthy and happy your relationship is with sleep. Most people don't think of it like that or think to ask that question. So, but with sleep, you know, if you have a healthy, happy relationship with sleep, you're obviously going to sleep better, you know, because you're going to feel safe and you're going to feel secure and you're just going to be able to allow yourself to sleep better. So let's see what's going on that would that is in any way interfering with your sleep. So how healthy is your sleep and your sleep patterns at this time? And really, I just want to check that overall, how healthy is your relationship with sleep? So that is at a out of 10. We'll just say a 0 to a 10. 10 being where you want to be. That's the best relationship you can have with sleep, okay? So let's just check in with that. And you are at a, as far as it being healthy, it's at a 2. 4 about a 4.6 out of 10. And as far as your this happy relationship with sleep is about a little less than a 4. So yeah, so definitely there's something going on there. So let's see if we can get that up as high as we can in the next, I don't know, we have about less than 20 minutes here, about 15 to 20 minutes. So we'll work as much as we can on that. All right, so let's get to the root issue here, the underlying cause. I'm just going to ask that come up, that surface for us, and then that way all the other layers can just easily and effortlessly clear away. So we're going to start and go to that. I just keep, every time I say that, I think of, you know, they always talk about an onion, and there's all these layers, and I'm always like, just chop open the onion and get to the center already, you know? Yeah, I don't even like onions myself. So I just, that metaphor is just always crazy for me. So I get a laugh out of it though, because it's funny. Okay, so let's get to the center of this for you. Okay, so, all right. So what is interfering with your sleep right now? Okay, is it a system? No. Subsystem? No. Is it some kind of imbalance? No. Okay, is it some kind of alignment or something that is not aligned? Yes. Okay, is that the priority? No. Okay, so let's get to the priority. There is some alignment there, so we'll go back to that. So what is the priority? Okay, organs. Okay, which one? It's more the gallbladder right now. Actually, the gallbladder is the priority. So really, we're working with the gallbladder, but also we can include the digestive system as well overall, because you've got the gallbladder, you've got the liver, you've got, and then it just kind of goes down from there. So All right. So, and I always encourage everyone, I am not a medical doctor and I do not claim to be. So be sure to, if you have any medical or health issues, be sure to see your doctor. And, you know, if you feel called to energetic work, that's what I'm here for. So it helped me. And so that's why I'm here to help you. So, all right. So let's see what's going on with your gallbladder. All right. Have you had any type of sensation on your right side below your rib cage or around that area?
A little swelling.
A little swelling. Okay. All right. So, so that means, you know, definitely some inflammation there, maybe some blockage or something like that. But like I said, I don't diagnose. I just energetically check in. So, all right. So let's see. Is there something energetically that we can do to help with this today? Yes. Okay. So what is that? What is the priority to do with the gallbladder to get it the highest and most healthy and happy it can be at this time? Let's see. No? Okay, something to cancel. So let's see what that is. Oh, okay. Some past life stuff coming up, actually. So this must be coming up that to be cleared. So this is like a all right. It's in the category of like the curses and things like that. So like I said, it's from past lives. Let's see how many are involved that are affecting your we'll just say your gallbladder, liver area, because both of those can affect your sleep a good bit. The times of those fall during the night, usually between, it depends on what time zone you're in, but usually between the, I don't know, 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock time. Is that around the times that you're having the most difficulty?
4 o'clock every morning,
Okay.
4 a.m. every morning.
Okay.
Well, sometimes
right.
2.
Okay, yeah. So that falls right around that time. That's when your body's detoxing. It's during the night when you're sleeping. So that's kind of waking you up a little bit there because it's not fully functional, you know, the way that it's in, and with that healthy energy flow. Let's just say that. So let's see if we can get that energy flowing a little bit better in there. All right, so cancel how many things? Ooh, about 10 things. Wow, okay. Do we need to know anything about these 10 things for them to be canceled? No, I'm getting actually a no. It's just stuff that's come up just to be cleared out. So I'm just going to ask that those and anyone else out there, this will work for you too. Anything that is non-beneficial for you that is affecting really any part, if you focus on a part of your body right now that is causing you an issue or a problem, or that's been kind of the word irritated or aggravated comes up, I guess you would say. So, or that is interfering with your day-to-day life, I guess. So if you think of something, and then you can just kind of focus on that, and this will actually, with your intention for yourself, it'll actually focus on that. So for Lee here, we're going to focus on her gallbladder and her liver area. So, all right, so we're just going to ask that those 10 things that are non-beneficial for you, that are obviously not serving you. And like I said, most of this is past life. And I'm not getting ancestral, so most of it's past life. Any other from this lifetime? No. There's some other timelines involved, and other timelines, but past lives was the priority. So, all right, so we're going to cancel out those 10 things that were showing up for you. So we're just going to cancel, remove, resolve, heal, and correct all of those things for you now, quickly, effortlessly, with speed, ease, and grace. Just take some deep breaths. And I'm just going to ask that I'm just going to cut any and all cords, ties, tethers, hooks, or strings that are no longer serving you. Ask that those be dissolved with love, the holes filled with love and light. And I'm just asking the highest source, whatever that is for anyone and everyone out there, that is where the assistance is coming from, any and all of the highest light that there is that you believe in, that's who's coming in to help you. Okay. Just going to ask that anything connected to, attached to, or related to this also, any kind of components of these things also be removed, resolved, and healed completely. So there may be some beliefs, there may be some programs, there may be some emotions, hidden emotions, any other kinds of emotions. We're just going to ask that those be cleared out as well. And that your gallbladder and that your liver is cleared and cleansed and healed as much as possible at this time. You can just let me know if you feel anything or anything you're experiencing. I'll check in with you in just.
I actually feel a lot more comfortable in my body right now, and I am tingling like you wouldn't believe.
All right. That's the energy moving. That's totally cool. I'm just going to ask that you be fully grounded in every way, in the highest and best way for you. So we're just going to ground those energies too. We're just going to bring you fully back into your body. I'm going to ask that your spirit access portal, it's in the back of your, it's like on the back of your neck. So we're just going to ask that that be opened and cleared so that your spirit can be fully in your body and that it's comfortable in your body. So we're just going to invite that in, letting it know that it is safe and that it is loved and welcome. Because when you're more fully in your body, your body heals much faster. So we're just going to invite that in. And I'm just going to do some downloads.
It's funny you say that because I've always had issues with grounding.
Okay. And also, I'm just going to ask that you receive any and all frequencies that are most beneficial to help with clearing out and cleansing any of these energies, energy blockages or anything that's kind of stuck there. We're just going to ask that any and all frequencies to come in to assist with that are beneficial for you, that those are downloaded, integrated, and activated for you now. And also, any beliefs and programs that you can receive that are beneficial for you that will help with healthy energy flow, just overall, and also easily and effortlessly, with ease and grace, releasing what no longer serves you, but that it is really eliminated from your body the best way possible for you. So the most comfortable way for you. So we're just going to ask that you receive any and all beliefs and programs that are in alignment with that will help with that in any way. Downloaded, integrated, activated, aligned, and balanced on all levels. I'm just going to ask that you receive any and all morphic fields, which are energetic blueprints. So I'm going to ask that those come in. And also any and all morphic fields for a healthy, happy gallbladder and liver, and really for any and all of your organs, for them to be at optimal health and happiness. So I'm going to ask that those be downloaded, integrated, and activated, any that are most beneficial for you at this time. And any that will help you with, like I said, this releasing process, this detoxing process that'll make that the healthiest and most, like I said, the most comfortable process for you. And any programs that you have that has to do with that you have to like go through detoxification symptoms and things like that to clear or to heal, we're just going to remove those because those are not serving you. And a lot of people think and have heard that other people have gone through things like this, so they take on those beliefs or programs that you have to go through this this process in order to heal and to clear, which really you don't. It's really not necessary. So we're just going to ask that those be removed and resolved on all levels. So just take some more deep breaths. I'm just going to go ahead and clear and align and balance your chakras. Okay. Also, we have an assemblage beam, assemblage point, which is right around the solar plexus area. So I'm just going to ask that that be corrected and aligned for you, because that's really going to help with your organs to all function more happily together. So I'm just going to ask that that be corrected and aligned. Like I said, this is for you and for everyone watching, everyone listening, everyone on the replay. I'm sending like an amber color for your liver and a darker blue color for your digestive system. Infusing those colors to help with that. Balancing those. All right, so let's check and see how healthy overall how healthy and happy that your gallbladder is at this time. Out of 100%, it is at a about 79%, but it was at a, before we connected today, it was at a, it was about a 47. So we're making progress.
I believe it. I'm feeling it.
Let me ask what is left, or of the 10 things that we originally tested for, how many of those are left? 2. Okay, so let's just clear out those last 2. Cancel, dissolve, remove, resolve, heal those completely now. We're really cleaning out any and all levels and layers of any kind of emotions that are kind of stuck in there. We're just going to clear those out. And as this is clearing out, I'm just going to ask that everyone receive into every part of their body, into every cell of their body. And this is inside and out and all around the mind, body, soul, spirit, all levels, all layers, all bodies. Like I said, into every cell of your body, unconditional love and light from that highest source. And I'm just going to run the, ask that the violet flame just kind of run and circle up and spiral up through you and out and all around you. And then that'll eventually transform and transmute into that brightest, either a white light, silver light. Some people see a golden light. So it's just whatever color you want to give it. I always just say white light. So we're going to just transmute as much of that as possible as well. Just ask for that assistance to really get in there and clear everything out. Like I said, everything gets replaced with what is highest and best for you. Okay. The true is that all 10 of those things have been fully resolved at this time. Gosh, truth that it is. Almost. So we got a part of one thing left, and that is, has it been canceled? Yes. Okay. Has it, Is there something left to do with it? What is that? No. Programs? Yes. Okay. Any emotions? Yes. Anything else? No. Okay. So there's some programs and emotions left. So we're just going to ask that those be removed, resolved, and healed and cleared. Like I said, always bringing in what's most beneficial for you to replace it. And I'm just going to download you with any and all nutritional frequencies as well that are most beneficial for you, for your gallbladder, for your liver, for the digestive system, any and all to help with any and all sleep patterns, any and all of those to be downloaded, integrated, and activated now. Any codes, any symbols, any other morphic fields that are beneficial to help with any and all of those. Bringing those in, asking that all of those that serve you in the highest and best way, that those really be anchored in. Okay. We've got just a few minutes left here, so let me see. What percentage healthy and happy is your overall is your gallbladder at this time? About 94%. Okay, we're getting there. Getting there. So let's see overall how healthy now is your relationship with sleep out of a 10, from a 0 to a 10. That is at a about 8.8. That's much better. We're almost double where we were.
Can't wait to sleep tonight.
All right. And also on the homepage of my website, christywarnick.com, there are frequency numbers, and it gives you instructions on how to use those. So those are just fun to play around with. So anyone and everyone can go there to the homepage of my website and look at those. It's below the show information, and it's so it's right below that. And so if you scroll down on the homepage, you'll find this. It's a whole list of just beneficial frequency numbers that I just put on there. And there are obviously so many frequency numbers, so I just picked some that would be most beneficial. So I'm just going to wrap this up for you today, Leah, and I'm just going to surround you, just kind of cocoon you in energies to hold these in so that all this can settle in. And I'm going to surround you in blue-green light. It's very calming and very healing. Okay, so how do you feel now?
I feel amazing, honestly. My stomach has gone down half the size since when we started.
That is wonderful. Can you message me later and let me know how you're doing? Because I've got to go now, but I want to know how you're doing, and I can post and let people know an update on that, okay?
I will for sure. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and just let me know how that's going, and just tune in every Wednesday, same time, same place, right here, okay?
I'll be here.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I hope that was helpful for you. Be sure to message me if that was helpful so I can share out some of the comments that and just let people know how you're doing, okay? This is Christy Warnick, Energetic Alchemy, and I look forward to seeing you every Wednesday, same time, same place. And thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for all the messages and for sharing this out. I am so grateful for that.
everybody. Tanya here, Australia's Psychic Cowgirl from Australia, connecting with you all over the world at all different time slots. Time slots that I can't remember from everywhere, but anyway, you'll know what time it is in your area, so I'll leave it at that. Just wanted to have a quick chat to you this morning prior to doing the reads about a few things that I've found with energetically over the last week with people inquiring about readings or coming in to actually get readings, and the little bit of uncertainty that's around at the moment with some people. And I was just drawn to mention something that I found really helped me when you're going through a time of a bit of crisis or uncertainty and just feeling really out of sorts. It's a little tool that I thought I really wanted to share with you today to say when you are going through a hard time and you're really struggling, sometimes we have to focus on what we can control. So there's a lot of outward things that we can't control, and that's often, relates to work, relationships, money, where we're living, can be any element within our lives. And we tend to focus on it and become really scattered with what we're thinking and not being able to make clear decisions. So what I wanted to share today is that we need to look at what we can control. So it's a little bit about, rather than focusing on the problem, we can focus on things that actually give us, how can you put it, more strength and more of the ability to work through these hard times. So when we focus on ourselves, that's doing things like self-love, that's nurturing ourselves, that's looking after ourselves. And, our body is our vessel, so that's what we travel in. We want to be able to look after that. And the healthier and the better we feel within, the more we can deal with, the ups and downs of life. Because as we know, that's part of life. It never goes smooth. There's always ups and downs, but it is how we look at it. And I say if we can control that, and if we can control what we're capable of controlling, and that is looking after number one. And when you start to look after number one, you're telling the universe that you're ready to face the challenges and you're ready to bring to you what is needed. So, and just a little hint I wanted to share today, and it goes back to the old saying, grant me, I'm writing this down because I can't remember it, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can, and then also the wisdom to know the difference. So I just wanted to share that today. All right, my first caller is Elizabeth from Arizona. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello.
How are you today?
I am wonderful. Excited to be here.
Fantastic. Great to connect for you today. Wow. So would you like me to go through what I've picked up already for you?
Absolutely.
Or
yes.
Okay. Initially, what I picked up is that there's a focus around making decisions for you and with moving forward. So there's a few changes that have come up, and it's like you need to step out of your comfort zone to step into the changes that are coming through for you. And I had the feeling when I was connecting a little bit like you're feeling a bit like you're stuck or a little bit stagnant, and it's like intuitively you're ready to step out of that, but there's that little bit of a uncertainty on how you're going to actually go about doing that. I also felt that there was a link there to career or what you were doing, and it was almost like I just got the sign for you to take the first step on what you want to do and where you want to be, and then the universe will bring to you, exactly what it is that opportunity, I suppose I would say, to you, and stepping up so that you can make those changes, because I feel like you've been building up to this for a little while. And also on top of that was picking up, getting outside more and tapping into your creative side. So it's like whether you're not tapping into your creative side or it's something you've just put aside and not doing right at the moment, but it's like I really felt drawn to have to tell you that.
Thank you.
So does that relate with the career information?
It does. I actually have recently, I'm going to school, and I'm going for my bachelor's in business for business administration, and just recently made the random decision to do human resources. So I was undecided, and I shifted that to going for human resources.
Fantastic. Because it's like there's, it's almost like making that decision now is going to present you with opportunities.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and I feel like with that, because obviously with studying, with this field that you've gone into, there'll be opportunities for working. So like whether somebody's going to step up with a part-time position that will be in that field, so you will be able to not only study but have that experience as well. So, but that's just a case of you stepping up and saying, putting it out there to the right resources, obviously, and people to say, this is where I'm going to step into, and I would like the opportunity to work in that area, because it's like there's something there waiting for you. And if you haven't come across it yet, I'm sensing that it's not far away.
That's beautiful. That's wonderful. I'm actually excited to be in that position now that I really make that final decision and I make the move. So I feel that I even can feel the shifting myself with this change that I've done, because I was stuck for such a long time.
Fantastic. And it's so wonderful that you have come to that decision, and you know, and it's like intuitively you know that this is where you want to be, but you had to take that step. And it's like, I want to say well done on actually taking that step rather than sitting in doubt and sort of having that realisation that the other one wasn't quite the right fit for you.
You are absolutely right.
Yeah. And you have a lot of spirit around you. So it's like, I have to say that your loved ones in spirit want to let you know that they are around you to support you at this time.
Oh, I feel them all the time. It's like I get these chills all over my body. As close as they get, I can feel them, and I can actually feel them right now.
That is so awesome. And it's like with that, and I want to say, because they're showing me, ask them, like when they step in, if you don't already know who it is, it's like they have the certain spots, exactly like you're saying, where you know they're stepping in. But it's like if you say, right, is that you? Can I ask if your mother's passed? Because I feel like there's a lady stepping forward for you.
It's actually my grandmother. She raised me as her mother. You know, she was my mother. She raised me as a daughter.
I actually wrote down here, because this lady came through prior, and I'm like, mother. She was like mother, but she said, I'm not the mother, but I'm the mother figure. And I was like, is this a stepmom or, you know, somebody else stepping in? So obviously that's her. And it's like, I feel like she's left side. So because you're sensing them coming in, if you ask her and say, show me which side you're on, you'll get to know exactly who's where and who's stepping in for you. Because there's a few up there stepping in for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all I can tell you is that I really don't know who it is, what spirit is or what ancestor it is, but I can definitely feel the energy. It's like a whirlpool. I feel the energy right all around me.
Yeah, and she's beautiful. She's a very strong lady, so it's like she steps in when you need her. And it's almost like, you know, when you're going through things or you're feeling a bit stuck, don't forget to call her in and just say, okay, give me a sign you're around. And as soon as you open up that communication with spirit and you ask for help, they step in and they'll make sure they help you. So you always know you're divinely guided. And that was a really strong message I got for you, is to know there is a lot of spiritual energy around you, and they want to step in and help. So when you become aware of that, opportunities come up. And even with this job I'm talking about to complement your study, is asking them to say, okay, present me with the opportunity. And that's most of the time, that's all you need to do. And something will come along and you'll go, oh, thank you. And I just acknowledge spirit and say, thank you for that. And, you know, you can do that regarding anything. So it's such a lovely feeling to know that you're well supported.
Oh, thank you. This is beautiful.
Yeah. So, and don't forget the other 2 messages before I wrap up. Getting outside a bit more for you, so it's like that connection to nature, and disconnecting from the what's going on in the world, but just having that time out and being creative. So using the other side of the brain, so that you're having a bit of fun and losing yourself in being creative, I have to say.
I will do that. I love to paint, and I haven't painted in a long time, so I think I need to get back into that.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. It's been lovely to connect with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Pleasure. Okay, I've got Melissa on the line. It's my next caller. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes. Beautiful.
Awesome. Awesome. I love your energy. As soon as I heard your voice, I'm like, oh, I like this lady. She's got there's a lot of power around you.
Yeah, very much so, especially right now.
Yeah. So you've got I'll share with you what I picked up, and then we can tune in a bit more for, if you've got something really specific. It's almost like when I connected prior to you coming on, it's like you're getting signs, but you're not quite listening. And it's like the universe is giving you direction, but it might be that you're caught up in overthinking things or not recognizing the signs. But it's like they're showing me you're getting signs, but you're not quite picking up on them. So when I'm shown that, it's like, okay, I have to share that with you and say to be open to, it might be a song, it might be repetitive numbers, it might be a gut feeling on things where you're guided to go somewhere or see somebody or speak to someone. And because you're highly intuitive, you would get these normally anyway, but sometimes in a time where things are being mixed up a bit, we need to tune in that little bit more to be able to get the guidance coming through that's available to us. There's also, I'll just run through what I've got here. There was also an element of time to release the past. So there's a little bit of letting go around you. So it's almost like there might be something you're hanging on to, and sometimes that can be subconsciously hanging on to something. Yeah, something that's happened. It's like, I have to say to you, it's time to release it, because there's something bigger and better coming, right? And that's what I've written down here. There's bigger and better coming, and the strength that you're gaining as you go along at the moment comes from the ups and downs you've been through. So it's like they were showing me you almost had to go through that, that really tricky time to get you to where you are now. And I know you're probably still not feeling you're fully through it yet, but it's like once you get through that, you will look back and say, I know now I've had that lesson. I don't need to go down the same track. I'm not going to make the same choices, and I've learnt from that.
Yeah, if I just listened, then these 2 past relationships I've had will just go away, as opposed to me prolonging them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's time to let them go. And you know intuitively, and that's what I say to people, even when I'm doing a reading, is I can tell you, yes, it's time to let it go, but ultimately you know within. So I'm not telling you something you don't already know or you haven't already had the signs to do. But we as humans like to hang on to what we know, and it's a very normal thing for us to stay in the comfort zone, which means we'll go to what we know rather than step into something different. But I also say with that is sometimes if you intuitively know that's the decision and you know you have to let that go, you can ask Spirit to help you with that. And that might be a case of asking them to help you have the strength to have that conversation with that person, or the strength to build on that and move forward in your own time and in the way that you want to move forward, but they can give you the signs. And that's why I feel like that message for you is they're giving you signs, but they want you to just take that little bit more notice.
Right.
and this also goes back to what you deserve, because I'm shown, you know, like you deserve to have someone that values you. You deserve to be a priority and not be, you know, pushed back into just fitting into someone's life for the sake of it, I have to say.
Huh. Oh, that's dead on.
So, you know, this relates a little bit to what I opened up with today. This is about focusing on you and taking control of what you can control, and that is how you treat yourself. Because as you look after yourself and honour what you enjoy doing, and they're showing me too, there's something you've let go of, and I feel like it's a hobby or a pastime. You've stopped doing it because your focus has been on the relationships, and it's like you need to get back into that. And that gave you that sense of fun, that sense of, you know, letting go of all your problems and enjoying life again. And you've let that go. So it's like there's an element of having fun you've kind of just let pass and not actually been embracing. So that's a tool, and that's a way that you can help empower yourself, because we want, you know, when we know we deserve better, we want to start to value ourselves. And what happens then is the people that don't value you won't approach you. You actually won't be attracting the relationships whereby they don't value you, because your energy and essence will be, I am, you know, I am fantastic. I deserve the best, and that's all I'm going to accept.
Yeah.
And that's
kind of been shifting, and 2 guys have come into my life new.
Yep. And but there's one that you're letting go of, yeah? Or there was one that you're not. You've already got the feeling that they don't fit, yeah?
There's 2 that I'm letting go of from past relationships, because I just need to finalize both of them on different levels. And there's one guy who has just come into my life, brand new, never met him, within the past month.
Yep.
And then but we're strictly friends right now. We have a lot of things in common, and numbers. We see numbers, like ascended master numbers and master numbers show up. And so we talk a lot about numbers.
Yep.
And this other one, he asked me out on a date for Friday, but I'm not drawn to him other than to have great conversation.
Yeah.
And I hope he feels that same way.
Well, I think in honouring yourself, if you're straight up with him, and, you know, like if you feel inclined, definitely go out on the date, but just be straight up and say, I'm after someone to have fun with, and if something develops further, all and great, but at this point in time, this is my priority. And that soon sets everything straight from there on out, to not feel obligated or feel like you have to be more invested than what you are.
Yeah.
Because you don't have trouble attracting.
Huh?
You don't have any trouble attracting them. Like, so you can have your choice.
So that's like a double-edged sword in some ways. But I've noticed that those I am attracting now are more like-minded, especially this guy named Charlie, who we connect.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. And again, that's tuning in, and that's, you can feel that within your heart space that you have that connection. You will find letting the others go, like once you cut the ties there, will open things up a little bit more, you know, with the more like-minded one that stepped in. Because energetically, when you're still hooking into past, it's not enabling you to fully move forward. So it's good just to be aware of that and say, okay, I really do need to cut these cords, ready to move forward into what I deserve, and you know, having that great relationship with someone that's like-minded.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah.
It's about finding my ideal house with the financing that I have in my current mind. If there's any insight on finding it or these certain little things that to look for, and that's where it's going to be.
Yep. Well, straight away I get it. It's outside of where you're looking now. So almost like don't be closed off into certain areas. Look a little bit further afield. And I want to say it's smaller or more because they're showing me like compact, but so it feels spacious, but it's not a massive house because there's an element of you where there's a sense of freedom and you wanting to not be tied down with a massive house to have to worry about, I want to say.
Mhm.
So it's I see like an open plan, like they're showing me like something that's fairly open plan, not lots of little rooms, more like an open living area. But you will know, and they're also showing me it's a little bit quirky. So I would say look at things that are a little bit different.
Okay.
It's got character. It's got character, so it matches you. There's an element of you enjoy that.
Yes, I do like that.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's also it's important to be in the right area for you. Like I get that, but it's like just look a tiny bit further afield. I just have to say because it's like where you're looking, you're not far away, but there's just something just out that little bit.
Okay.
I'm getting north. I'm getting north of where you're looking, so just bear that in mind. Also interesting because I've just been drawn to look outside, and we've got two massive wedge-tail eagles soaring at the moment. So that's a great sign of a union and time for you to soar. So it's like this year, things for you. It's time for you to take flight and enjoy and reap the rewards. And the fact that there's two together sounds pretty promising to me about this relationship.
Yeah, that was my next question, is if he was going to be a part of this.
Yeah, I feel so. It's like, and that's going back to what I first picked up for you here is you've done all the hard yards, you've put up with what you've done with putting up with rubbish, and it's time now for you. And it's like the timing is right now, so that the right house will come along, the right relationship will connect, and I feel a great sense of strength with this new one you're talking about. He sounds very dependable, and I want to say he's reliable compared to the others. So if he says something, he does it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's exciting for you. So it's like, oh, I want to get excited and say, the house is there. I don't feel my sense, and timing isn't always one of my biggest things, but I feel like over the next couple of months you're going to find what you're looking for as far as your house.
Beautiful. Now, as far as the new business I started up, what do you see for financial flow coming in, funding sources, grants?
Is there somebody you're looking at connecting with now? Because it's like there's a connection. They're showing me a connection to somebody that will give you. Do you contract to others, or is there something to do with an organisation if you hooked in with that you would get continual work from through your business?
It would be, if it was an organization, we would go under this Northeast Kingdom Community Action if we could go under them. But the other thing is the hospital here is a big funder for, what we're doing. Or the school system.
Yeah, they need to connect with you. So I feel like you need to go out there and talk about the business, and then when they connect with you, that will bring a contract. But I feel like there's a contract with, and over here in Australia, I'd look at it like a government agency or something where it's a bigger organisation that will give you the part-time funding and then still allow you to branch out in other areas, I want to say. But it's like there'll be a mainstay. So you'll get continual money coming in through that connection, but it is like you need to go there and actually meet with them and put forward
what you're going to do for them, because what you do is helping other businesses, yeah?
Well, helping you.
Yeah. So it's like, you've got a lot to offer. So I just want to say, get out there and start talking to people, because there's one connection that's going to get you a lot of ongoing work. So please let me know how you go. I have to wrap up now because my producer's giving me that, I'm going to be kicked off.
Okay.
But it's been wonderful connecting, Melissa. Just be prepared to soar, because it's really great for you.
All right. Thank you. Be well.
You too. See you, gorgeous. Okay. It's come to the end of our half an hour. How time flies. And I'm like, always running out of time. There's never enough time. I might have to affirm that. So within wrapping up today, I just want to remind you all that you have the power to create the life that you want and live on purpose. One of the biggest tools, and you'll hear me say it nearly at every show, is doing your affirmations. I have, let me see, in my office, I write up affirmations all the time. These, I haven't cut them up, but I stick them around. So no matter what I'm going through, I will have my affirmations that show, like this one, I attract only the best people around me who support and encourage me. And that's A1R Radio is one of them. And I surrender to the power that is always guiding me to be the best that I can be. Now, no matter what you're going through, affirmations are really powerful tools. Louise Hay work is amazing. And I have to say, if you haven't read her book, get onto You Can Heal Your Life. I think everyone's got that book somewhere in their bookshelf. So pull it out, have a look, and remember, the affirmations are the most powerful thing that we can do for ourselves, is to affirm the life that we want. And you all deserve it. We all deserve it. And life's about having fun and embracing it 100%. 100%. And that's what Spirit comes through to show you, is that they are always there and they'll support you as well. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Don't forget Australia's Psychic Cowgirl on Facebook, or psychiccowgirl.com.au is my website. Please connect. I love connecting with you. I've had a number of inquiries over the last week. I've been able to do readings for many of you throughout the world, and I love it.
A1R Psychic Radio here on Moonstruck TV with Amanda Hall Psychic all the way from the Gold Coast here in Australia. Well, we've had an absolutely awesome couple of weeks here where we've been partying on with the Commonwealth Games, and unashamedly I'm going to brag a little bit and say we topped the medal tally here in Australia, and that was really nice. So my eyes are square, and if I've got dark circles under my eyes, it's because I've been up watching all the sports late of a night instead of getting no beauty sleep. So on to another topic that I think that we need to cover before we start the show. And just recently, in the last couple of hours, I've heard on CNN the passing of Mrs. Barbara Bush. Now, she was one of your former First Ladies there in America. She was a great icon. She's somebody that I think all of us women can take our hat off to and bow to, because she was the epitome of a beautiful, strong, dynamic woman who stood by her husband and her family and did her part in shaping history. And I think it's going to be a sad, tragic loss for the world today that we've lost Mrs. Barbara Bush, because she certainly was an inspiration to women and showing them what they can achieve, that, you can carve out your own path, even and walk beside a very, very powerful man who will be shaping history. And she will go down in history as one of the most important dynamic women of the last, 100 years. And I think that's really important. And I salute you, and we wish her family well in this very difficult time in the days ahead that are going to seem like their world is never going to be the same again, and it won't be, but it'll become normal in a different sort of way as they cherish the memories and hear her laughter, and they'll hear her words many, many times from the great clouds beyond. So we salute you, Mrs. Barbara Bush. Rest in peace, my sweet. Now, on to today's show. We're going to kick off the show with our Simply Tarot card of the week. And this week it's a really interesting card because it's the Knight of Pentacles. Now, for a lot of people, they don't quite understand what court cards mean. And by court cards, I mean the knights, the pages, the kings and the queens. And they say, why are all these people showing up in my cards? Yes, they can be people. Yes, they can be the first meaning on the card. But 9 times out of 10, they're the secondary meaning on the card. So if you can't relate to a court card coming out in your tarot reading, then look at the secondary meaning and say, does that fit with the information and what I'm getting and how my reading is proceeding? So the knights are always young men up to the age of 25. When we're working with the Knight of Pentacles, this is a young, dark-headed man with dark hair, dark eyes, not always dark skin, but can have dark skin. It's not somebody that's fair and blue or green-eyed like me. It's somebody that's very, very dark. The secondary meaning is visitors. That means people dropping in for a chat, people that you're unexpected that are coming to visit, not necessarily with luggage, but they always have some news or something of importance to share with you. So it's visitors with news to share. So if you look out for that, if it's not the young man that's coming up in your life this week, then open the door. Maybe you're going to get some unexpected visitors and they've got something important to share with you. So we're going to keep the show moving along at a fairly hurdling pace today so that we can get to our 2 callers. Now, I'd like to sort of take our little trip around the universe first before we do anything because it's a major, major week. We've had the new moon in Aries, which we're still currently sitting in. So if you want to go back and binge and watch last week's show, you'll learn more about in Aries. But we've also had Mercury go retrograde. And I hear you say, hallelujah, now all of a sudden communication is going to get sorted out and things are going to be a lot easier to deal with. Well, yes, they will be. But we are still currently in the Aries time of the year. So we've still got quite a bit of energy floating around in Aries at the moment. We've got Chiron, the planet of the wounded healer, has just moved into Aries, and I won't talk much about that today, but I'll bring that to you in the next couple of weeks. We've also got the sun, which is where the sun sign is in Aries, but to make things happen, to stride, to bring new things into our life in whatever way that we want to. And that goes right across the board for the 12 signs, not just Aries people. And because it's conjunct or holding hands with Uranus means things can happen out of literally nowhere. Sometimes things happen in our lives and we think, why did that have to happen? Oh, it's a disaster, it's a catastrophe. And then a little bit further down the track, we think, wow, I'm glad that happened because it was the most amazing thing that ever happened in my life. Cleared out all the crap and the trash and the garbage in my life and enabled me to go over here and do this, which really sings better with my soul and makes me feel a more complete human being. So sometimes things happen at the time that we can't see or we can't understand, and we just get bogged down in the emotion of this is a disaster, but it turns out to be the best thing that's ever happened. Some people say that it's something that we unconsciously wished for. Look, I'm one of those ones that sits on the fence with this because I do believe we create our own universe to a point. But I also believe very strongly in the cycles of astrology that I've been working with for over 30 years, and nothing happens by coincidence. It's divine timing. It's the precise time. You can pinpoint it on the calendar. That's why that happened today. So in that way, whether it's an unconscious or a conscious energy that we're working with or we're tapping into a higher force, things always happen when they're meant to. Now, the other part I'd like to focus on in our little glimpse around the universe is the fact that we've got Venus conjunct or holding hands with the moon. Now, why is this important as it's in Taurus? Well, anybody that's been searching for a new relationship, now may very well be the time when love could cross your path. Now, just be aware, this person could be very different from anybody else you've dated or ever been interested in before. it could be a very stabilising relationship, but it could also start as a very unusual or unexpected meeting. Hence, going back to the Sun conjunct Uranus, where you could go somewhere you've never been before because you've had a flat tyre and you've gone in to wait, you have a drink while you're waiting for the tow truck to come or the automobile club to come and change your tyre for you, and you happen to randomly meet somebody while you're in having a lemonade or getting a cup of coffee, and wow, you know, this is how things happen. So be on the lookout for unusual and unexpected ways if you're searching for love in the next 7 days. That now takes me on to our Eco Soy Candle of the Week, and because we are in the Aries energy, I thought we should really feature the fire sign candle, because this is one of my favourite candles. It really is, I suppose because I'm a fire sign, but it was one of the first ones that I designed. Firstly, we designed the tarot candle, and then I went on to design the astrology range, which comprised of 4 candles for the 4 elements, and this is the fire sign one, which rules the signs of Aries, Leo and Sagittarius. And I suppose it's one of my favourites, as I said, because I'm a fire sign. But when I picked the fragrance for this, it was like I couldn't drink it in enough. It was like, wow, this is just so amazing. This is just so right. And that's how I went on to pick the fragrances for all the candles, was they had to resonate with me with what I was trying to achieve. So for people that are fire signs or people that aren't fire signs that want to start new projects in their life, that want to get a bit of oomph, a bit of fire into their life, a bit of passion happening, this is the perfect candle for that. So again, you would work with your candle in the way that we talk about every week. Write your intentions of what you'd like to bring in. I like to have it in 3 tiers, the immediate, the not so far in the future, and then the more futuristic sort of plans, that the long range plans that we're working on. Read it out aloud. Burn your candle for between 15 minutes to 2 hours per day. Preferably, this is sort of something you'd like to do for about 7 days so that you really intensify the energy. Yes, you can burn different candles at different times in the day or at the same time of the day and have them grouped together for, for argument's sake, you might be trying to bring in a new business, so you'd have the fire sign candle going. But if we were in a moon cycle and you were working with your full moon candle and the energy of the full moon, you could have that in a separate group, burning at the same time simultaneously. But don't forget to really focus on what it is that you're trying to bring in as you light that particular candle. That's really, really important. So these candles, I've personally got up to 100 hours out of these, and that's probably because I'm a bit of a tightwad when it comes to making my dollar stretch further. And even though these candles come with 2 wicks in some of them, I only ever burn them with 1, and I find that I can get up to 100 hours. The recommended hours on the candle making suppliers website is 60 hours, but I've found I've always got a lot more than that out of it, so I must look after my candles properly. For those of you that are wanting to travel or have a very small space that you want to use your candles in, you can pop into our website and buy a gift pack of any 3 candles of your choice. This week, of course, I'm featuring the 3 fire sign candles. These ones are recommended to burn up to 15 hours. I can say I've probably personally got 18, 19 hours out of them. And again, keeping the wicks short, keeping them out of the drafts, not under curtains, and certainly away from children and pets is a very important thing. So candle magic is something that we can use to do meditations with. We can use it to bring intentions, purpose and direction into our life. Or sometimes I just burn them because I like a particular fragrance and I haven't really set any intent. But they were designed as not necessarily decorative candles, but as intent, purpose and direction candles. So that leads me on to where can you buy my candles. If you want to head to my website, which is www.amandahallpsychic.com.au, you will find everything there on the website that you need to know. Don't forget, when you're at the shopping cart, type in the word in capital letters radio and you will get a discount for watching the show. So this leads me on to part 2, I beg your pardon, of the houses in astrology. Now, I know with astrology, people have sort of been messaging me and saying, thank you, Amanda, you're really demystifying it. You're making it simple. You're making it idiot-proof. Even I can understand it. And I'm really finding this quite fascinating. So houses was one of those things that people kept asking me questions about. How do you understand what house, or how do you find out where the houses are? Well, that's very, very simple. You would need to get an astrology chart, just a wheel erected with your date, time and place of birth. That would then give you the exact house positions for you personally. Now, if you don't have your time of birth, then we would use what's known as an equal house system on a sunrise chart. So all the houses would then be 30 degrees. So your first house would then be put your sun sign on the first house. So that's a quick way of doing it if you don't know your birth time or you don't want to invest in a chart. And look, most astrologers would do them for a few dollars. They shouldn't be any more than $10 or $20 to have one sent to you after they've calculated it on the computer and, you know, send it to you in an e-file. So we're going on to houses 4, 5 and 6. So house number 4 to me is the house of the home. This is where we do the nurturing. This is where we feel secure. This is the place that we retreat to. This is our sanctuary. This is what we need to, how we conduct or how our home would function. So, you know, depending on the energy that's on the 4th house would then flavour what type of home you would create or what type of home you've come from. House number 5 is where we start to look at the public stuff. This is where I want to perform. I want to go out there and see what love that I can give to the world. It's I. It's the house of performance. It's the house of fame. It's also the house of children. And it's a very sort of dynamic sort of house because it's where I really want to shine, but it's also where I want the world to sort of applaud me as well. So bearing in mind the first 6 houses that we've been working with are the I houses. So they're all very self-centered. So it's where I get my attention. It's where I want to give, if I want to give love, if I want to perform, if I want this, if I want that, you know, and I'm very protective of my children, which is different from the 4th house, which is the home. That's the dwelling, that's the building, that can be the family. But the 5th house is technically your children, not your extended family. But I think with children, I would bring in blended families in that your stepchildren or children of them coming into you with a marriage or a relationship would also fit into the 5th house very nicely. So the 6th house and the final one we're working with this week is again a very selfish house. It's the service that I want to give. It is the house of work, and this is paid work, not necessarily profession. It's the one that where we work, where we get the money to pay our weekly bills. But it's also the house of physical health. So this is where we look for physical ailments in the body or weakness in the body. And this is why it's important, if you've had your own chart done, you know then whatever's on the 6th house cusp or on the 6th house, whatever the astrological energy is, that's where you look for the weaknesses in your body. So they would change with the different energy. And this may be where you'll pick up an ailment or an illness that you get that doesn't relate to the family DNA. It can come in through the 6th house. So it's really interesting. You know, astrology is one of those very fascinating areas where I think that there's always so much to learn, and there's always so much that we can learn from focusing on where astrology takes us. Next week, we'll be looking at the next 3 houses, which will be 7, 8 and 9, and that'll be part 3 in the series. Of course, we'll have our glimpse around the universe next week too, but we're going to take our first call, and that's Charmaine in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Are you there, Charmaine?
Yes,
Charmaine.
Hi. Hello.
Can I help you, sweetie? Do you have a question for me?
Yes. First of all, thank you very much for taking my call.
You're very welcome.
I was married to a very fantastic man. I lost him about almost 3 years ago, and I had to take over his business. I'm a restaurant owner now, and I've been working really hard and made lots of changes. Restaurant is doing well, but I just needed to see if we can connect with him and see how I'm doing. I'm always constantly worried about not doing good enough. And this is a legacy I have from a man I love, and I put my heart and soul into it. So I was wondering if I can get some kind of a message.
Okay, sweetie. First things first, I can't guarantee I'm going to be able to connect with him directly. I mean, you know, we've got a very limited time space, and unless he's ready to come forward. But first and foremost, I must say to you, my extreme condolences on your loss. I know what it's like to go through widowhood. It's a very exclusive club that we don't want any more members to, that's for sure. But the first thing that I picked up as you were telling me this was my heart was really open. I felt really a very, very loving energy. So I'm assuming that's coming from your husband, even though he hasn't sort of presented himself physically in front of me in a way that I could describe something to you about him that would mean something. But what I was getting was this very overwhelming feeling of my heart is about to burst with such pride, that I'm really so happy, I'm really excited that I couldn't cram another piece in there if I tried. So I'm taking that as a direct message from him that he is more than astounded, happy, excited and everything else with what you've done. But he was also giving me the feeling, and I'm going to say a feeling, not necessarily a direct sign again, that it's okay if and when you decided that you don't want to do this anymore, that you don't have to hang on to it because of his memory and what the two of you worked so hard for, that he's giving you permission to do what is right for you. He doesn't want you to stay shackled to the past if that's not what you want. So maybe that was a question that was rolling around in your head that you didn't know quite how to ask, but he's already preempted that and answered it for you.
Well, the only thing is that I really am loving what I'm doing, and I think it was very healing for me. I just, the perfectionist in me is always struggling, and I'm never happy with what I do. And in a sense, this is really, takes most of my energy. I feel sometimes depleted by worrying, although I really enjoy what I do, and it heals me on so many levels. So that's why that I asked him. I asked him to come forward and tell me what I need to be doing.
Yeah, but I don't think he necessarily wants to give you direction or instruction from beyond. What he wants you to do is do what makes you happy. He shared with me he couldn't be happier. His heart is bursting with pride and admiration. So there isn't anything he'd ask you to change. It's about what's going to make you happy. But I also felt with him sharing with me that energy of that when the time comes and you decide you want to follow another dream, that's okay too. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't have to keep hanging on to it once it's past the healing stage, or you feel that you want to explore another Mount Everest. That's fine with him too, because that's what he loved about you. He loved that you were never satisfied, that you were always striving for something more. And it's really hard when you're a perfectionist like that because nothing is ever completed. Once you learn to understand that and work with that energy and say to yourself, that's okay. It's all right for me to never feel that, needing to sit on top of the mountain and say I've made it and I'll have a rest and just look around and enjoy, the fruits of my labours. That's okay because that's who you are. You know what I mean? You can pass the baton on to someone else and go on to the next Mount Everest. That's what keeps you going.
Yes, correct. That is so correct. Thank you so much.
He's around you all the time. He just keeps showing me bigger pink hearts. I don't know whether he was a very romantic man, but he's just done nothing but show me a barrage of pink hearts flicking across in front of my eyes.
Oh.
I've never actually seen a symbol like that before, so you're very much the first one, Charmaine, that's ever given me a symbol like that, like you see on people when they do a Facebook Live and all the pink hearts go across the screen. That's what he's doing, but he's not doing one at a time. He's doing about 1,000 at a time.
Oh. Well,
so you should feel very honoured by that. I don't think there's anything that you're doing that he's not happy with. He just keeps showing me these hearts. He's not coming in with anything else. So please, darling, take that as his way of sending you loving energy and telling you he still misses you and he still loves you and you're still his girl. And you always will be.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're very, very welcome. Have a great night. We're going to go on to Christina into Manson in Michigan in the USA. Are you there, Christina?
Yes, I am.
How can I help you tonight, Christina?
Basically, I just kind of would like just some general information, whatever you have for me.
It's easier for me to work with a direct question, Christina, if that's okay with you. If you shoot me what you need to know, it enables me to tap in quicker in the short space of time we have here on the show.
Okay. I guess I'm just looking for what I should be working on in my life right now.
Well, I think what you need to be working on in your life right now is stop putting yourself under so much pressure. You seem to be putting yourself under so much pressure as if you should be searching for something or commencing something. I think you just need to go with the flow. Instead of sort of constantly having these things that you've got to tick off on the to-do list, they're sort of saying to me, leave the list blank. It's okay. It can be blank sometimes. It doesn't have to have 900 things on there to cross off. You know, sometimes I think you put far too much pressure on yourself. Has this year been about endings and change and transformation for you, like doors closing, friendships finishing, things getting as if they're closing, you know, closing into to start again?
Okay.
Has there been some changes like that?
Yep, there has.
Yeah. Well, to me, as your world starts to shrink, that's an indication then that not necessarily are you doing anything wrong. It's just we're closing things off to get it to a point that when we start to expand back out again, it's like we've culled things out of our life that are no longer necessary to us. And that sounds a very callous way of looking at friendships ending because somebody's moved upstate or somebody's passed on. But we can't take everything with us. Your life is like a closet. When the closet gets full, we've got to empty some of the clothing out, don't we, so we can put new garments in there. Well, it's the same with our lives. We've got to let things go so we can attract new. I'm being shown here from June onwards, I feel that we're going to be back on the expansion part again, not on the shrinking part. I did also feel by August that you would be seriously contemplating whether or not you're in the right job. Is that something that has crossed your mind a couple of times this year about, is this the right job for me? Am I really happy here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the time's right yet to make that final decision. But what I'd like to see you do now is do some active steps towards it. Have a look at your resume. See if there's anything there that needs, you know, updating. Is there any courses I might need to go to get the more latest up-to-the-minute qualification? Do I want to stay in this particular line of work? If not, what skill set do I need to sort of go into something different? I sort of feel it's going to be along the same lines but with a twist, something different. We need to add something else different to the mix. Was there something that you were interested in about 7 or 8 years ago, career-wise, that it wasn't quite the right time for you to get into it, or they weren't paying enough money, or it was still too new? Because I want you to go back to that part and dust that off and have a look at that as whether or not that's a particular direction we could be looking to incorporate now.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't ever show me what it is. They just show me things on a timeline. It was about 7 or 8 years ago, and I felt by the way that they were showing it to me like it was a new sort of technology or a new technique or a new way of doing something at that time. It's probably not so new now, probably something that we all take for granted now. But if you look back 7 or 8 years ago, nobody really knew much about social media. You know, the odd person was on Facebook or whatever, but then all of a sudden now the whole world can't survive without it. So, you know, it would be something that came in around that time. You know, look around what you were thinking or looking at that time as far as a career change or maybe enhancing your career, but you sort of think, maybe it's a bit too soon. It mightn't go anywhere. That's your starting point. It doesn't necessarily have to be that, but that's your starting point that will start you thinking in the right direction, can I say. But I also sort of feel that you've become so much stronger in yourself this year, Christina, too. It's like you've really learnt the power of no, have you not?
Yeah.
And good, keep it up. You've practiced it really well. It'll just become very automatic soon. They're also sort of showing me, and I don't know how to interpret this, in your yard, have you got a lot of trees that lose their leaves when it comes to that time of the year?
Yes.
Okay. So was it at that time of the year for you when these changes started to happen with you, where you started to feel restless?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because to me, they're showing me it's like you're like the tree with the leaves falling down. It's like I'm shedding or I'm letting go of things, and it's like that's nearly complete now. It's nearly ready to reshoot. So that's good. Look, I can only wish you well. I think you've got a dynamic second half of 2018 coming up, and there really is nothing that you haven't already done that you should have done. I think now revisit the work situation that we've spoken about, but everything else you can leave the list blank because it's okay. We can let some surprises come in of a very positive nature and show you where you need to be going. And don't ignore anything that flashes into your mind. As stupid as it might sound, write it down and come back to it, because that may just be that key piece, that first piece to the jigsaw that we've got to build around. That, you know, more pieces will come in to fit in around us to show us what the picture of life is going to be like. But I know you're in for some very wonderful surprises in the next few months, and it's good. I feel really comfortable with that. I don't feel uncomfortable with it. I feel that you're right on cue for where you should be. So have a great night and lovely to speak with you, Christina.
Thank you.
Okay. We're nearly at the end of the show. Why doesn't half an hour go very quick? For those of you that want to learn a little bit more about what I've been speaking about, in a few minutes' time I'll be over on Facebook Live having a little mini workshop on the sign of Aries. So you're more than welcome to join us there. That's Amanda Hall on Facebook Live in about 5 minutes' time. Also on next week's show, don't forget we'll have our card of the week, the candle of the week, part 3 of our house series in astrology. We'll also have our little glimpse around the universe and see what's sort of happening. But please be kind to each other during the week. And we all need to say a prayer for the Bush family at the moment with the loss of Mrs. Barbara Bush today. Terribly sad. What an amazing lady and somebody that we will all remember for the rest of our lives. So have a great week. Keep smiling. And whatever you're doing, just be kind to each other. And remember, the world goes around on smiles and love. Bye for now.
Hi, I'm Asia, and thanks for watching Moonstruck. And now, back to A1R on the air. Psychic Talk Radio, now on Moonstruck TV, enlightening television.
Hi everyone, I'm Heather, and this is Psych and the City. I'm the Psych Heather Oval, and the city is Hollywood, California. Welcome. We are live, and that's exciting every time I do this. So tonight I wanted to talk about this vibration that's going around this week with my clients and my friends, and before I get to the fortune. And what it is kind of a darkness and a depression. And I've never really spoken to you guys about depression and loss and how to cope with that and how to deal with times when you go dark. Because in spirituality, it's not always about being happy all the time. I think that's a big misconception, is that if you're spiritual, you're always happy. That's couldn't be further from the truth. Spirituality helps us through the dark time and keeps us from going off the deep end, I think. But what happens when we start to feel dark? How do we cope with that? And of course, we do go to our spiritual practice, but when we're in it, it's very difficult to get there initially. And so I wanted to just speak to you guys about it tonight and just give you a few tools so that you can be ready when depression strikes. And I suffer from depression personally. I have since I was as far back as I can remember. Since I was 5 years old, I used to be really dark and sort of sit with my little dog and talk to my dog and tell him all my problems and take solace that way. And I've dealt with it my whole life, and that is one of the reasons I sought out spirituality and with my psychic ability, I was always sort of seeking a higher truth and trying to sort of figure out what was going on with myself. And so that brought me to spirituality. But so when you start to feel dark, what do you do? What should you do? Well, most people self-isolate. And what that does is it creates more depression, because you spiral and you start to think darker thoughts and you start to get darker. So what I suggest is reaching out. And even though you probably don't even want to, but it's very healthy and it's very important that you reach out. Now, should you text someone? Should you hit them up on Facebook or Instagram? Not really, because it's not true intimacy. And what you want with dark feelings and depression is a true connection. And so true connection is the old school face-to-face, okay, you guys? So make an appointment with someone or make a date with someone, like coffee or lunch, or go over to their house if you want to just be in their realm. but you want to show up and be present and be with a friend or a loved one or a family member and trust that they want to help. That's important. You don't want to have that guilt about being a burden. That's a common misconception. Oh, I'm a burden. I don't want to feel guilty for being a burden. Understand that people want to help and people love you. My husband lost his daughter she took her own life, and this was about 2 years ago. And since that happened, it's been really one of my goals in life to make sure that people can make it through depression and not, go to such lengths to take their own lives. It's absolutely devastating. And I helped him through his depression during that time. And she does come to me in the form of butterflies. And as I do see the angels, it's very helpful for us. But I want you to understand, reach out, seek someone to talk to. And then from there, an important thing to do is number 2 is do things that make you feel good. Okay, so get your butt out of bed, go get a mani-pedi, go shopping, go get your hair done. Do things that make you feel beautiful, that make you feel good. Try to do something. Okay, because if you self-isolate, if you stay in bed the whole time, you're going to spiral, and that doesn't work. In Buddhism, there's a saying, sit with the pain. Now, that's different. If you sit with the pain, that means you're processing, you're dealing with it, you're figuring out active ways in which to feel better. Ultimately, that's sitting with the pain, okay? You're actually dealing with it by processing and feeling everything, okay? That's different than self-isolating, okay? Self-isolating, you're probably overeating, getting high, getting drunk, smoking, whatever it is to sort of mask the pain, to get rid of it through unhealthy means. So, if you do choose to sit with the pain, it's very brave, it's very difficult, but it is something that you can do, and it is pretty awesome if you can accomplish that. But don't feel like, oh gosh, I'm not able to sit with the pain. Don't worry about it. Most people aren't at that level, and it is pretty difficult. So here we are. Get support from someone outside. Go do something for yourself. And then number 3, I would get moving. And that means exercise, which is scientifically proven to raise your serotonin. So what that means is obviously hit the gym. If you're not a gym rat, if you're not a gym person, it's just as easy as putting one foot in front of the other, okay? So taking your dog for a walk or just taking yourself for a walk. Here in LA, there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of concrete, stuff like this. But what I do is I look up. I look at the trees. I look at the sky. And that is nature. So spend time in nature. Even if you don't think you have nature around you, you always do somewhere. The earth is our God, and God is everywhere. So make sure you look to the sky, look to the trees, calm yourself through nature. Because if you're inside the whole time, you're going to feel pent up, you're going to feel frustrated, you're going to get overheated, and all these reality shows coming at you. How can you not feel depressed? So understand that, okay? Now, with the negative thoughts, this is something I teach my clients. You have to simply overcome them. And it isn't simply, but it's like learning a new language, okay? So if you guys out there speak a new language, like I pretend I speak Spanish like everyone in LA. It's more like Spanglish. But when you speak Spanish, say when I'm in Mexico and it starts flowing, I feel like, oh, right, I'm speaking Spanish. I'm fluent. And it's flowing it kind of feels great because you're in that sweet spot. Well, it's the same with positive thought. You can get into that sweet spot where you are flowing with positive thought. And it takes training, okay? So it takes training of the mind to reach the point where you are in positive thought 100% because you have trained your mind to be there, all right? So what happens is in the beginning, you have to start telling yourself the opposite of your negative, all right? So if you're walking around saying, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I want you to catch that thought, I'm fat. And you want to say, cancel, clear, delete. I learned this from my friend Isabella, a beautiful shaman. Cancel, clear, delete. So that thought is out. And then you say to yourself, I love my beautiful, sexy, slender body. I bless my body with love. Some sort of alternate thought, opposite thought, a positive thought to replace the negative, right? But like I'm saying, it's learning a new language. So you're going to constantly, in the beginning, be checking yourself. I'm broke. No. Cancel, clear, delete. I am infinitely wealthy and debt-free, right? And then what happens is after like a month, you start automatically saying the positive thought. I'm infinitely wealthy and debt-free. I'm infinitely wealthy and debt-free. Oh my God, I'm infinitely wealthy and debt-free. And what happens is the universe responds to those thoughts and starts rewarding you with the money, rewarding you with the weight loss, right? Rewarding you with the happiness. So this depression and sense of loss and things like this start to dissipate, right? So understand that if you work hard to train the mind and to believe these new positive thoughts, then the negative will slowly disappear. And the one thing with affirmation that's very important is you have to believe the affirmation. Because if you're just saying it, in the beginning, you're probably just going to be saying it, right? But ultimately, you have to believe what you're saying, and that's when it starts to really work. Okay, guys? So understand that. You start to believe it, and then you will receive it. Believe and you shall receive. So that's how I got out of my depression, was through the art of affirmation. Now, antidepressants. I do believe in them, okay? Personally, I don't take them, but I do believe if you are dark enough, you should take antidepressants because it's like a diabetic needs insulin. This is my personal opinion, but there are some people who are dark enough that they do need some sort of adjustment. So I personally believe if you're that dark and you can't get out, then you possibly should look into medication. Therapy, yes. Spiritual therapy, most definitely, okay, guys? Because then you're in touch with the universe, with quantum physics, with the art of positive thought, all these things, hopefully, so you don't have to take medication. But if you are so dark that you're feeling suicidal, you should probably look into something like that, okay? So that's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on depression because so many of my clients have been dark lately. And I've been trying to lift them up, help them out of this darkness, and keep them from, doing anything dangerous or, going off the deep end, really. And just know also when you lose someone, it can also be in the form of a breakup. And you still are mourning. And anyone who tells you that there is a time limit on mourning, or you should, and especially with a breakup because that person is still alive, oh, you should be over them by now. Just know there is no time limit on mourning, okay? So those people can just, get lost. You don't need to listen to them anymore. You just don't need to speak to them about your pain because they don't understand, right? So there is no time limit on mourning. You can mourn as long as you like, but understand that when there is a breakup, You are being invited by the universe to grow, to expand, to move forward, okay? To blossom like a lotus, to become a butterfly, all right? You notice when you break up with someone, you lose weight, you start looking hot, you start going to the gym, you start getting yourself, into books and knowledge and moving forward. It's no accident because you're being invited by God, by the universe, to expand, to move forward, to be this beautiful butterfly. So I want you to kind of step out of your sadness and say, hey, I'm going to evolve and do me. And then God or universe is going to bring me someone who deserves me. So that's a good way to look at breaking up, okay? I know it hurts like hell, but just understand that that is what a breakup is actually about, okay? Is cleansing yourself and making room for the new, all right? So take time for yourself, and hopefully these tips on going dark will help, because losing a loved one from suicide or losing a loved one just to depression in general is really difficult for us who aren't depressed or who aren't, whatever. But it's really, really hard on everyone. So keep your thoughts correct. Work hard at training the mind. That helps so much. And the other cool thing with helping out with depression is just dogs. Dogs are wonderful. Dog, spelled backward, is God. Okay, so get a dog if all else fails. Okay, so those are my thoughts on depression. So if I helped anyone today, I'll be glad for that. As far as your fortunes for the week, or your predictions, as far as money and work, number one, work is kind of weird right now. What I feel is the vibration of someone who may be threatening you because they're kind of like, there's a presence of a younger, hotter, sexier person at work that may be bright and shiny and sort of taking away your mystique, and they won't last long, so don't worry about it. It's just that they are new on the scene kind of feeling, right? So, or the boss may be attracted to them. This is temporary, okay? But you're not going to be getting that much attention for like the next 2 weeks due to this bright and shiny object, person, thing, okay? Either an object, person, or thing. There's distraction. So if you're not feeling the love, that is why, okay? There's distraction from an outside source. Now, so the message is don't take things personally. You're doing fine. Just don't take things personally, because you're not going to feel a lot of appreciation, but it's not personal, all right? So that's like for a week or two. And then everything else with work, pretty much the same. It's a very Groundhog's Day vibe right now, meaning everything is the same, on the same vibration, same sort of steady flow, no increase, no decrease, but sorry to say, not a lot of appreciation either. But they still love you. They're just not saying it. As far as money is still on the increase, but it's becoming a little more subtle. You've got to watch for the signs. You've got to ask for what you want, ask the universe, and make it clear. There are vibrations of, again, unexpected sources. So money coming from unexpected sources, which is exciting. So, a check in the mail, a lottery ticket, something like this, or maybe even a raise at work. But I wouldn't see a raise for like 2 more weeks, because right now, again, you're not being really noticed. As far as love vibration right now, love is very tender. It is. There have been a lot of breakups. Now, I don't want you to think you're going to be broken up with, but I want you to appreciate the love you have, okay? So this is for couples. If you're in a couple, make sure you don't look back and understand when you got together, how beautiful that was, and cherish that, and look back fondly with all the memories you have with your partner, and try to recreate some of that magic this week, okay? And appreciate what you have. And instead of bitching about what goes wrong these days, go back and appreciate what you have and have had, and move forward with this beautiful feeling of love together, okay? Now, if you're single, do your best to not make waves this week, okay? Because there's like a snapping turtle effect going on, where if you say the slightest thing, someone may get a little upset, okay? Now, that vibration lasts for 5 more days. So just make sure you be cautious with what you say to your mate, because it's almost like, not to be creepy, but like they have PMS or something, like they're on edge. So just be cautious and be gentle with your words, okay? So that's love. And as far as the vibration overall, it should just be a peacekeeping time, and everything is fine, but communication is just a little wonky. But just make